All right, I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Tiverton Town Council, Thursday, May 7th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk.
Councilor Comito.
Present.
Councilor Burke.
Present.
Councilor Janik.
Present.
Councilor DiMederos. Councilor Edwards.
Present.
Councilor Paul.
Present.
Councilor Perry.
Present.
All present.
Thank you. All right, so first order of business, obviously we did tremendous work at the last meeting, going through almost all of the budget on the municipal side. We have the school department here tonight. I figured we'd start with them since they were kind enough to come to the senior center all this far way to the north. Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Finance Director, if you wouldn't mind, sir. And I see we have this nice handout here in front of us as well. Oh, that's yours. Thank you.
1 minute, I'm just getting, just got logged on. Is that on? So,
Yes, Mr. Superintendent, or,
I'm gonna multitask real quick as I'm logging on.
no worries.
I have some good news before we get started. I wanted to present you with Picasset PTO's $10,000 check donation towards the playground.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, Picasset PTO for the win. Let's go. Yes, the treasurer will take the money. By the way, Mr. Andre, I don't know if you noticed, she didn't even look up. She was like, I'll just take that.
Brendan, do you guys have spare packets over there?
Yes.
I didn't go down.
Oh, I did not either.
So that break.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Council President, Mr. Council Vice President, and members of the Tiverton Town Council. I have a brief introduction before we get into the presentation. Director Andrade and I are here this evening on behalf of the Tiverton School Committee to present the Tiverton School Department's proposed FY27 budget of a grand total of $36,769,769, representing a 3.75% increase in town appropriation, a 3.11% increase in total appropriation, including state aid formula and town appropriation, and a 3.04 grand total increase considering other tuition, gaming revenue that has already been approved, and the estimated FY27 Medicaid. This is a zero-based maintenance level budget. It includes no new programs, no new services, no staffing additions. The proposal reflects the minimum funding necessary to operate the district responsibly while meeting our instructional and legally mandated obligations. To maintain this lean budget profile, the district implemented targeted reductions, including the elimination of a regular education bus route, the Rhode Island Student Assistant Counselor contract, and underutilized afternoon supervision at Tiverton High School. The proposal also follows significant staffing reductions over the past 2 years, with the district reducing a total of 35 positions since FY25. We do recognize the financial pressures facing the town and taxpayers, and this budget reflects our continued effort to align operations with enrollment trends and fiscal realities while maintaining high-quality educational services for students. Director Andrade and I have prepared a presentation this evening to further review the budget and answer any questions you may have. And at this time, I can direct everyone's attention to the budget presentation handouts that have been provided. Stating that, I'm happy to turn it over to Director Andrade as we get into the budget presentation.
Thank you, counselors, for letting us speak in front of you this evening. So I won't go too deep into the words. We'll get into the numbers shortly, but as to echo the superintendent, if you open up your budget packet go right to page 3, obviously skipping the summary and the table of contents, start with the balance budget proposal. This is how we maintain services in a fiscally responsible way. I want to be very direct about what this budget represents. This is not a growth budget. This is a maintenance budget designed to keep the school system operating legally, safely, and responsibly under the current financial constraints. The budget before you funds existing obligations and legally mandated services only. It addresses unavoidable increases in costs such as special education, transportation, insurance, utilities, healthcare, and other salary obligations. We limited expenditures to known required costs and did not build in additional spending cushions or discretionary growth. Equally important is what this budget does not do. It does not add programs, it does not add staffing, it does not expand student services or educational offerings. In fact, the services reflected here represent a continuation of reduced operational levels from prior years rather than a new investment. We recognize the financial pressures facing the town and taxpayers. At the same time, we also recognize the students benefit from investment and stability. This proposal reflects an effort to balance those realities responsibly while maintaining legal compliance and cooperation. Bottom line, our goal with this proposal is stability, maintaining required services for students while recognizing the financial realities facing the community. Going on to page 4, your packet should be numbered by page, but the top line is FY27 preliminary appropriation request. So local town appropriation requests year over year, FY26 through FY27 requests was 29.2 million. We're asking for an increase of a little bit over $1 million, almost 1.1 million to 30.3 million. That change represents a 3.75% change. State education aid is moving a little lower year over year. It was 5.977. It's going to 5.975, which represents a decrease of $2,000. In total, the request here tonight is increasing the school budget to $35,217,919, increase of $1,094,395, or in total $36,312,314, which represents a percentage change 3.11%. Obviously, I list the other revenue for you folks this evening. So in total, going down to the bottom, the grand total, which represents the gaming revenue allocation that you guys generously included last meeting. This is an above calculation. So that change year over year is a little less than 1.1 million, or 3.04%. Stop me. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Andrew, just a couple of quick questions for you.
Yep.
The packet that's in front of us, this FY27 UCOA budget, what is this as of?
What do you mean this?
Like, what is this this revision as of? Is this what was presented to the school committee like a month ago, or is this more current? And the reason I ask is because there were definitely some changes that would have impacted the budget since then.
Yep, so this is from the school committee. We're not allowed to make any changes.
Okay.
Things have impacted the budget, such as insurance, which I'll get to.
That's one of the
Yep,
first
we're
things I highlighted,
We're
sir.
still battling that. We're 60 grand we gotta come up with. I don't know if you watched the school committee meeting.
I did not.
Yeah, so we did discuss that when we talked about GLP-1. So we're still battling that increase because our budget was adopted and presented to the town administrator on March 19th, and insurance, yeah, 19th. And insurance increase came a week and a half later, so we're still
So what
battling.
is, out of curiosity then, because I think that's probably top of mind, right? We have
Yep.
proposed budget, health and medical insurance premiums of just over 4.1 million,
Yep.
which represents a $220,000 increase. What should that number be, given the votes the school committee already took?
About 60,000 higher.
60,000 higher than what's here?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because to answer the question with numbers, John, is we estimated a little more than 12%, and with the exclusion of GLP-1, came in at 13.1%. So that's about 60 grand.
Okay. One other one that just jumped out at me here. Where did it go?
Do
Hang
you
on.
mind?
It is, right here, the technology-related hardware number. Is this,
Yep.
so this obviously doesn't reflect the fact that there should be no Chromebook acquisition inside of this budget, correct?
Correct. So the UCOA budget does include that number in your backup, but it's highlighted in yellow showing the 241 is built into this UCOA.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, because what we have to do is we have to present a UCOA budget to the school committee to ride and then it's essentially a transfer in from the town. So this is how, that's why I highlighted in yellow for you folks, but.
Okay, and that's, well, it's
Yeah.
black and white on our
Yeah.
copies, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay. I
I'd rather
apologize for
you
that.
save the ink and, you know, save a couple of dollars, so.
Perfect, perfect. I apologize for that, but, yeah, that's why I kind of put the note down the bottom too. Hopefully you have that note, but.
Before you move on, I believe Counselor DiMederos does have a question.
Yep.
So your actual increase, taxation increase, is 3.75?
Correct.
Okay, because we never count state aid in our formula. This is, the taxation will be 3.75. Okay, thank you.
Correct. However, if you look at the budget doc, I was following the budget doc for FY '26, which is a certified budget doc, is last year the school appropriation was a 35,156, 138, which represents a change of 3.09%.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's what I'm following.
But what we have to concentrate is the impact on
Correct, the
taxation.
local appropriation, correct, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, please continue, sir.
All right, so page 5 of the PowerPoint. So what this slide does, it just, again, highlights the budget overview and strategic priorities. This slide summarizes the overall FY '27 proposed school budget and the priorities that shape its development. The total proposed budget is, again, $36.7 million, which includes approximately $241,000 improved gaming. This overall expenditure increase from FY '26 is 3.04%. Importantly, and to restate clearly, this increase does not represent program expansion or additional staffing. This budget was developed using essentially a zero-based approach focused solely on maintaining core operations and meeting contractual and legal mandated obligations. Priority 1 of the budget was core instruction. The first priority of this budget is maintaining core instructional services so students continue to have access to qualified educators, curriculum, and classroom support. Priority 2 was mandated services. This budget prioritizes required special education services and student supports necessary to meet state and federal obligations. Priority 3 is fiscal responsibility. At the same time, the proposal avoids any growth, and there are no new programs, staffing expansions, or non-essential incentives included in this request. Overall, this proposal reflects an effort to preserve educational stability and legal compliance while remaining mindful of the town's broader financial pressures. So page 6, the superintendent just highlighted a couple of these, but, so I won't go through each one. Highlighted most of these, most of the key ones, so I won't go through each one, but he's, I'll do it at high level. We did eliminate one regular education transportation bus, which is a savings of almost $94,000. The gaming revenue, as you folks know, you approved it. The school committee did recognize $150,000 in potential Medicaid reimbursements as an offset revenue for mandated services.
John,
Counselor Camino.
can I just ask about the buses?
Sure,
So you eliminated basically a bus run
correct.
in Tiverton for around town or
Correct.
transport out?
In town, yep.
So with the buses, I'm sure you worked hard to try to eliminate one run, but what I see with buses, especially at the high school, is we're not filling up these buses at all.
Correct. The problem is the bus is going, it's the run for high school, middle school, elementary. The problem is mostly at the middle school. That's where the bus is full. But I agree, the high school and
Full,
elementary
plus
is,
all those parents that are dropping off and picking up.
oh yeah. I wish we
That's
could.
out of control.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you still have to provide the opportunity for the bus under state
Correct,
law.
and that's what I was gonna get into. We are working with RIDE. RIDE was generous enough to fund a consulting service through Transpar. It's the same company that provides their statewide transportation. So, Mr. Burke probably knows about this, he sat on that committee. And one of the things that came out of it is Transpar is actually looking at all the bus routes. As you can realize, this is a very touchy subject because, you know, when you're fighting against a business, they don't like that as much, so it could take time.
Right, I get it.
So it could take time, but we're hopeful that we could have additional reductions, but we just can't. As Mr. Burke said, we have to provide the transportation of what we know today.
I mean, I get that, but I still think there's ways of maybe cleaning that up. I mean, I watch buses go down
Yeah.
Crandall Road,
Yeah.
and they're picking up a kid at every driveway.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
Yeah, one of the
like,
things-
There's gotta be a way to consolidate.
Yeah.
And change a bus route. I don't know. Maybe if that means start school a half hour later, because we have to be a little bit longer, because we have less buses. I don't know, it's just something I'm throwing out there.
I think you're exactly right. We are in our first year of analyzing the bus routes. There are some ways to combine bus routes. At the high school level, you're right, those buses are not filled. There are very many empty seats on the high school run. The middle school buses are full. In the elementary, there could be some consolidation of runs. Currently, our challenge is that for each of the 13 buses, we pay for the bus for the full day. And that bus runs the high school route, then the middle school route, then the elementary route. We can't eliminate more than one bus at this time without a substantial change in our schedule. We are not prepared to do that for next year. For future years, we certainly will analyze bus routes further, and that may require adjusting the start and end times for the schools. But currently, we feel that we're able to absorb a reduction of one bus. With this consulting company, they may identify additional buses, but in our analysis, we took a look at the number of students who ride the bus each day. We took a week sample in January to see on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, how many students are actually riding the bus, as opposed to those that are registered to ride the bus. In a lot of cases, the number is much lower for actual, but at the middle school, it's almost spot on. Almost every student who's registered to take a bus takes a bus at least one day that week.
The way you look at the middle school, if those kids that are getting dropped off, it's almost like you would have to add buses over there. It's just, I mean, the number of people who are dropping off and picking up, I don't know, it is a lot. Thanks.
There are a lot of students in the middle school. It's certainly our highest enrollment. And I've seen the line as well. There are a lot of cars coming in and out of that. Normally,
Well, I mean, that's got to be a factor because we closed Fort Barton, obviously put another grade there, right? So, I mean, because enrollment totally is down, I would assume, right? Throughout the.
Enrollment is down.
Because we added over there.
There's a whole nother grade level, you're right. So you have an additional 5 classrooms, so that has increased. And the bulge of enrollment is at the middle school right now.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Mr. Haskins, quick questions for you.
Yes.
That outside consultant, how did that come about?
Mario Carreño is a director at the Department of Education. He approached me with the suggestion that we think about engaging with a consultant to help conserve our resources related to transportation. Interestingly, we had already begun the process. In December, we started analyzing our bus routes. We did an initial analysis. We counted the number of students on the bus, we looked at the routes, and we thought we could reduce by one. But we know that this is a major driver of the budget, and we have the opportunity to work with an expert on transportation to analyze our routes, so we jumped on that to get further support with that.
I have to tell you, I'm thankful you're doing it now. I actually brought this to your predecessor's attention 4 or 5 years ago, and it never went anywhere, so I'm thankful that you guys are taking a look at that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Continue on page 6. We went through the budget change, line item 1, transportation, gaming revenue, Medicaid. Again, town appropriation assumes a 3.11% increase in town and state education aid appropriation. We are eliminating a mental health counselor, resulting in a $20,000 reduction. We're hoping for internal alternate funding sources outside the general fund to cover this, so that it's still being explored.
John, yeah.
Yep.
Counselor Jennings
Is-
and Counselor Camino.
Is that eliminating the whole counseling service?
No.
It's one counselor?
We receive a reduced rate for this counselor through the Rhode Island Student Assistance Services. They've just changed their name to C3 Wellness. This is a publicly state-funded or maybe federal-funded position that is offset by local funds. We are proposing removing that from the school department budget, and we're seeking alternate sources to fund that position. We expect the position to continue at the high school next year, but we are proposing removing it from the projected budget and funding it with other revenue.
But we'll still have the services available. We're not cutting the service.
Correct,
Or laying off somebody.
correct.
Yeah, so this
I
is
mean,
always,
that's a mental health issue right now is probably one of the if I was gonna cut something, it's not gonna be there.
Yeah, no, the only unfortunate part is this has always been funded by grants, and the grant has gone away through RIDE. So when you're kind of, I agree, but when you're building a budget, that's the stuff it's tough to bring in, you know what I mean?
Right,
So,
okay.
We expect to have this position next year. We expect not to fund it through the operating budget.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we are, next line is we're eliminating a PM supervisor at the high school for underutilized afternoon supervision coverage. This is about a $5,000 savings. And then,
Sorry, I
Oh,
just
go
got a
ahead.
question about that also. So we put in a beautiful workout room and gymnasium,
Mm-hmm.
right? So is this part of that supervision in that area?
Nope, that's separate. That's,
Okay.
that would be under, that's still ongoing as a stipend through fall, winter, spring. So as long as we have a,
That's on a volunteer basis?
yeah, yep, voluntary basis, stipend. It's a paid stipend, so not really volunteer, but you
Well, I
gotta,
mean,
you
somebody
gotta
has to
find,
volunteer.
you gotta find someone that's not certified, but knows what they're doing in weightlifting. As you know, you could hurt yourself really
Right,
easy.
okay.
Yeah.
Weight room supervision will continue to be supported next year. This is another position for the gap between the end of the school day and the beginning of after-school programming. This was put in place a few years ago. This is not utilized. Normally now, students who are waiting for athletics are being supervised by the coaches
Okay.
or the weight room supervisor.
Yep, yep. So, to answer President Edwards' question, the benefit premiums are at high levels. So the rates, again, in the packet don't reflect the current rates. We still have some work to do at the school level to offset those benefit
And
increases.
just a question on the health there. So that GPL one, it did have savings
It did. It was, we have the same pool as the town, so.
in the trust?
Yeah, through the trust, so we excluded it to have the 13% increase rather than the 16%.
Okay, and that's reflected.
We're still,
You say
That's
that-
not, it's not
it's
reflected.
not, it's
It's
not
It's not
reflected, we're
reflected
still.
here. The
That's
number,
about-
the number in our packet is
so-
$60,000 higher.
So per the charter, Craig, we have to present a budget on the 19th, and we didn't get those trust increases till 2 weeks after the
Okay.
19th, so,
Just-
yeah.
I just want to make sure that it
Yeah.
wasn't taken out.
Yeah, and,
All right. And we don't, and that, is it 60,000, is that the savings or no?
No, 60, whatever's in the budget behind
Correct.
here for health the actual number is $60,000 higher.
Yeah.
Had they not done the vote
Right.
that they did, it
Correct.
would have been
It's-
But do we know what that number is?
Yeah.
It has to be backed out at
it's
some point.
60 grand too. We would have to come up with 120, yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
That's what I was gonna say. It happens to be the same number.
Mr. President, did all these recommendations come from the two of you?
Recommendations through the budget cycle?
Yeah.
Yes, we do the budget together, and then we present to the school committee for approval. All right. Special education-related services, the rates increased more than 7% for OT, PT, and contracted services. Final pricing is contingent on the FY '27 RFP acceptance. Again, the methodology was essentially using a zero-based approach. This includes the FY '27 budget being built on the FY '26 staffing model, which reflected staffing levels reduced by 20. And finally, we're currently establishing an in-district program for current out-of-district placement, which would be a net savings to the district of $78,000 following associated staffing adjustments. Going to page 7, is this showing the staffing trends from FY '25 through FY '27, showing the district's experienced an 8% decrease in staffing. So we were at 241 total FTEs in FY '25, and we're projected to be 220, same as FY '26. Yes.
I don't know if it's a question or a comment. Non-certified, those are your teaching aides or teaching assistants?
Yep, clerks, custodians, et cetera, yep, correct.
So that number wasn't changed, I see that. Just feedback, I'm hearing a lot of negatives about the cuts. When you cut those hands-on people who have the most face time with the students, I think it really negatively impacts a lot of the instruction and the care that goes on in the schools. I'm not a school person, I don't pretend to be, but just a comment, and just from what I'm hearing, out in the community.
Yeah, it's definitely, we don't disagree. Staffing's tight, but unfortunately, we had a budget crunch that we had to handle in FY '26.
I understand,
Yeah.
and coming from a hospital model, they would always cut the CNAs, the lowest paid, but they have the most face time with the patients, so you really impact the care that goes on, so.
Yeah,
I understand we're in an economic crisis here, but at some point, if we can think about how we might be able to get some of those back into a budget at some point.
Absolutely. So going to page 8 is the FY expenditure highlights, and we can go through the UCOA line item detail, but just high level is personnel services, which is your salaries and benefits, obviously is the biggest increase through salary obligations. Professional and technical services is decreasing a little over 1%, or 24,000, excuse me. Property services increasing a little bit, almost 2%, which relates to 8,103, so small increase. Other services, which is increasing by almost 2%, 121,000, which is the 5.5 accounts, that's your out-of-district tuitions for CTE and out-of-district placements, so those are the heavy hitters in that department. And the supplies is going down by 6,657, and property and other is an increase, but solely has to do with capital.
Counselor Camino.
So out of district is the cost of paying student to go to a different school, right?
Correct.
So how many students did we lose, younger students, I would say, I guess, by the closing of Fort Barton? So how many students did we lose totally? Well, so, but it does help our revenue on,
It helps.
I'm just trying to see how,
Just
between
to
CTE
clarify, these are not
correct.
somebody tuitioning out to Portsmouth. These are kids who have special needs who are going to an out-of-district
So
specialized school.
both are in that.
And
same
CTE,
ca- Yeah,
and CTE.
both are in that category. However, if someone went from Fort Barton to St. Phil's, we wouldn't be paying for that, but we would lose the education aid enrollment number.
Yeah, which I think is the question that
Correct.
Counselor
I
Camino.
have it
Correct.
on the, I have it
Yep.
on
We have,
Chris's.
currently, we have 41 students who are in a district outplacement for special education.
especially.
Yep.
Did get that.
These are grades K through 12. We have,
Mr. President,
Yeah, I just want to make sure the numbers are the same. I'm just trying to see what the numbers are,
if
but
you go to
yes.
my packet that I was going to present later on, if you go to my second sheet,
This one's in color. Thank you, Counselor Perry.
I'm sorry,
Use your own ink.
second sheet,
I
it has the
guess,
enrollment from 2010 to 2026, and I actually, if you look from 2021 to 2026, you can see that there's been a steady decline in the enrollment. But if you look at 2025 to 2026, we had 1,054, 2026, we had 1,002. So that's 52 children that were down. So if you take just the Tiverton Middle School, Fort Barton, Pecasset, and the Ranger, because that's where the kids got moved around to. In 2021, 2026, we had 242, and that's a 52 reduction. If you combine all those schools, those kids had to go somewhere. Either they went to Pecasset, Ranger, and middle school, and that's a reduction of 52 children went somewhere, and not to those schools. So they either went to Portsmouth, Little Compton, homeschooled, somewhere. So we lost 52 kids.
I guess the point that I'm trying to ask or make is, do we have a dollar amount or a cost between the
Well,
CTE?
I think the cost now per
CTE
child is around $20,000.
16,000
It's still at 16?
for CTE, yes.
I thought it went up. No? It's still 16,000?
16 is the special East Bay rate that we use between the superintendents.
So 16 times 52 children that we lost.
Well, that's just for CTE. If these are elementary students, that rate's a lot lower. The enrollment, there's a lot more that goes into that
Yeah, but
formula.
cost per pupil.
Per pupil would be a lot, yeah.
Per pupil.
Per pupil would be
Per
a lot.
pupil is up around 20, you are correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
About
20.
20,000.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
much
so
higher
I'm-
than that.
Right, it's much higher.
it's
Our-
approximately
our-
22,000.
22,000.
Our
Yeah,
current
that's what I'm
cost
saying, it's
per
around
pupil
20.
is
What's not?
23,767.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the
So,
CT
so there's a difference between the CTE cost
Correct.
and per pupil going
Correct.
somewhere else, right?
Per pupil is your expenditure in district. CT is what you would pay
And
a
Craig, getting
sending
back to
resident.
what you said before.
Yeah, but what he wants to know is per pupil, right?
How
Kind of both,
how many
like,
of our
so-
children are going to Portsmouth?
For,
I had the floor, Mike, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry. Do I have the floor?
Counselor Camino did have the floor, and then we'll defer
I took it
to-
away from him.
Yes, you snatched it away.
I took it away from him.
Counselor Perry is the silent assassin.
How many of our children are going to, how many of our children are going to Portsmouth somewhere else? Or being out
Little Compton is where a lot.
right now?
so
I might as well
I
get my
think
2
Council
cents in right
Comito question, and I think Mr. Perry has the same question. We currently have 85 students who are in a CTE program outside of Tiverton. That includes Portsmouth High School, Newport Area Career and Technical Center, the Met School, and I think in one student in Barrington.
And how much we paying per child to Portsmouth?
16,000.
16,000 per student
And how many
Because
being-
it's a CTE program.
because of the CT.
And how many being homeschooled?
We currently have, as of March, 93 students homeschooled.
And it seems like every meeting that I go to, there's 2 more added on.
We do have in Rhode Island a homeschooling law that requires families only to submit a letter of intent.
Thank you.
Counselor Camino, please.
So I'm just trying to figure out what the
That's all lost
revenue,
revenue.
what we're losing from the revenue, the total revenue, but I can do all the math now and figure this out. But is there something that are we doing, I don't want to say somebody doing something wrong, because I know the CTE, there's been a lot of changes and we've added, not me, but the schools have added some CTE programs to make us a little more attractive. Are we trying to grow that out some more, or trying to get these kids back that, 90, if that's the true number, 93 homeschool, and that's a big number, so what are we doing wrong I mean, is it just the closing of a school, or is it all higher levels, or is it, what are we doing wrong to lose 93 kids to homeschooling?
So the homeschooling question is a much trickier question to answer.
Okay.
Why are families choosing to homeschool their children? The homeschooling number has always been relatively high in Tiverton, compared to other districts. The reasons families are choosing to homeschool, it's tough to tell. We have a fairly aggressive truancy process in Tiverton. And in some cases, the judges are suggesting homeschooling to truant children.
Okay, so it's a higher, it's a much bigger problem.
It is probably equally as complicated to address the CTE program, to be honest, but I have a little bit of a better handle on the CTE problem. In Rhode Island, the state of Rhode Island is proud of the fact that there are 500 CTE programs. However, when you dig deeper, to qualify for a CTE program, you must offer 3 elective courses over the span of 4 high school years. That is a pathways program that is now considered by the state of Rhode Island to be career and technical education. As such, students can choose to go to any school they wish that offers a pathway that is not considered to be substantially similar to the Tiverton CTE program. There are very few substantially similar programs identified by the CTE board. One of them is at Tiverton High School, and the mirror program is at Portsmouth High School, and that's our engineering program. All of the other programs are considered not to be substantially similar. So as such, a student may choose to elect to take 3 elective courses over 4 years and go to, for example, Portsmouth High School, or any high school for that matter in the state of Rhode Island. It is a big problem for a town like Tiverton, where the number of opportunities compared to much larger districts, may have smaller opportunities compared to larger districts. Our challenge right now is to keep Tiverton students in Tiverton. One thing we have started this year is to request all families requesting who are going to to Portsmouth, to tour our program and to meet with the superintendent. That way we can get a better understanding of what they are thinking as they're deciding between Tiverton and Portsmouth. That has resulted in a small gain of students who are choosing to stay in Tiverton. Additionally, for the first time, we have had 2-way recruitment. So before, Portsmouth, Newport would advertise to our students to go to their communities. For the first time this year, we have gone into Newport, presented at Thompson Middle School, and we have 3 students coming to Tiverton next year from Newport to our CTE programs. We have a CNA program that is attractive. The other Aquidneck Island schools do not offer it. So we're promoting that along with some of our public safety program, our marine carpentry program, trying to grow our landscaping and plant sciences program in order to attract other students. It is a big hole that we are trying to dig out of, but we do have a good beginning plan in place. The next step for us, I believe, is to lobby the legislature to reconsider what we are qualifying as CTE programs. 3 arts classes, for example, electives over the course of 4 years may not really be a career and technical program. That is my opinion.
Counselor DiMederos.
You're welcome.
I think Dave also pointed out that we lost elementary students, and they went to Little Compton, is that correct? Because I know a whole bunch of families that went there.
The way I understand it, Little Compton did offer for Tiverton families to attend their schools on a tuition basis. Unfortunately, Counselor, I do not have that data for you this evening. I do not know how many of Tiverton families went to Little Compton.
Okay.
Counselor Perry.
Yes. I'd just like to say that I do meet with Superintendent Haskins once a month, and we have discussed this at length. And he's got some programs in place. He put a committee together, I believe, to look at this and why this is happening, why these kids are going out. So he has some plans in place to look at this. It is a problem. It's a huge problem. But I'm not going to say we're working on it. I'm not part of the school committee, and I don't want to be. But he is working on it.
Thank you.
Superintendent, please continue.
So that pretty much wraps up the PowerPoint expenditure highlights, so we can get into, which I believe is the next section of your packet, would be the five-year UCOA data by line item. I know I received a few questions from Council President, but any lines you guys want to discuss or any questions? Obviously, there's many lines here, so.
I have several more to go through if
Okay.
you'd like, unless any other counselors would like to.
So personal service obviously is the biggest increase.
Correct.
3.99% personal service and benefits. I would assume that's mostly pay raises?
So,
I mean, benefits, is it, the pay raises would fall in there too?
so yeah, we have pay raises, we have lane changes, there's a lot of different obligations, correct?
Right, they just settled the 3-year contract?
NEA did. Council 94's contract expires. It was a 1-year contract that expires June 30th of this year.
The other counselors, Counselor Janik.
And then we need to add 60,000 into that section too.
Health and medical
Correct.
premiums, correct.
In the personnel services, I see you have line items for PT, OT, speech, and audiology, but then there's that line item just says therapist, 53204. Is that the mental health?
That's a little, that's a different things. The first thing that comes to mind would be music therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did
Counselor
not know
Burke.
you had a music therapist.
Yeah, we have, we use there's a contracted vendor, but yes, we have, it's quite used, quite a few
I'm
students. Yeah.
thrilled to hear
Yeah,
that.
yep,
It's through special education in the IEP process.
yep.
Just quickly to clarify, and the council president had, I believe, asked this, so on the last page, the yellowed items will be coming out because of the gaming allocation, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's part of our, gaming, yep.
Any other counselors have questions on line items? If not, I'm happy to dive into it. Counselor
So-
Camino.
I understand the theory behind it, and I know we have to have it, but it's always bothered me how police and fire details, right? I know we have to have them, but it's just, I mean, $62,000, like, it's just, we're stealing from our own coffers to pay. It's just one of those, I know, it's just,
That's the SRO.
Oh, that's the
What line are we looking at?
Yes,
I'm at 534-110. I thought it says police and fire details.
it does.
That's the line item that RIDE calls it, but it's SRO.
That is the SRO?
Correct.
Okay, so there's nothing funded in here for details, or am I
No.
missing it?
Nope, if there
All
was a
right.
detail needed like there was this year, it'd be not funded, and we would have to figure it out.
Very good.
This is
Thank
solely
Yeah,
SRO.
I kind of like that better, to be honest with you, but thanks.
No problem.
Counselor Paul.
Where does Aspen fall in on this?
Technology, which is, yeah,
So it's buried in the technology line, is that?
correct. It's, I can look in a second, but it's other tech services, 53502, or it's in web-based 53222, but I can give you the definite answer if I can pull up the budget sheet in 2 seconds. I'm having some difficulties though in connecting. So it's in one of those budget line items.
That's actually the reason I brought it up, what you just said. Apparently, a lot of people have problems connecting to that, and it's one of the things and again, Facebook isn't necessarily the greatest news source, but
Yep.
it's something that I see complained of a lot. Parents can't get on it, people get locked out of it. When they try to get help, they can't get it. I don't know if our tech people can't even use it, I don't know. But,
Is your teacher's salaries in here? The salary accounts?
Yeah, that's the first one.
To address the Aspen
I'm sorry.
question, Mr. Paul,
Right up on top.
thank you for the feedback.
I'm sorry.
Aspen, as a student information system, has tremendous capability, and as such, is very complicated to understand. So I hear you that there's been parent feedback about the difficulty in accessing Aspen. I've had the same experience as a parent with a school-age child trying to access those grades. I will take that feedback and work with our school leaders to see what we can do to help support parents with that. Equally, we have had a challenge on the school side, on the employee side, in using Aspen to its full capability. As such, we've engaged with a consultant at a relatively small price to help build our capacity on the administrator and administrative assistant side to use Aspen to support the school-based needs that we have. But thank you for the feedback on the parent side. I will work with our school leaders. We may sometimes over-rely on our computer systems for really important things like student grades, so we need to make sure that parents are able to access that regularly.
thank you, because again, like you just said, it's a system that seems to be underutilized in general on the admin side, so it's one of those, when are we gonna use it to its full capacity, or are we just gonna eliminate it?
Right now, we're focusing on building our capacity related to the enrollment. There have been some errors in enrollment coding, so we're building the knowledge base of our administrators and administrative assistants, starting with enrollment. The next phase will be on scheduling and grading.
Cool. My only other question, Brendan, you know this one, and the administrator as well. And I think I have the answer, but I just want to figure this one out once and for all. 54201, rubbish disposal services. The 36.5, is that literally for dumpster rental?
Correct. There is very small cost for confidential barrels, but that's $35
Yeah,
a
but-
quarter. Yeah, it's nothing.
So we're looking at
it's-
36,000, I just want
Correct.
everybody to hear that.
For-
36,500 to rent a dumpster.
That's for Megger to come certain days a week at different
And
schools.
the reason I bring it up is because I have literally watched them pull out of Garden Heights and then turn up into Pecasset, and it had my ears kind of ringing like, are the schools paying for trash service that they're picking up on a regular trash route? So this is literally dumpster rental service.
Correct. We
That
get,
is
we get charged a monthly fee per each
All
school.
right, my turn.
Counselor Perry, go get him.
Stuff.
Go
And then
Go ahead,
Counselor
Mr. Comito, because I won't cut you off.
Thanks.
Someone needs to talk to me.
So I'm gonna go to line item 54322. It's under,
Yep, HVAC.
yes, HVAC. So we increased for maintenance $10,000. But what are we actually doing for maintenance? Because it seems like there's always an emergency repair, and we're coming out and taking it out of casino money. So are we putting a program or not a program? Is somebody actually getting out, looking at our units, seeing what our filters look like? Because I gotta be honest with you, it doesn't appear like this stuff is happening.
Yeah. So,
maintenance across the board.
Yeah.
Our schools look terrible.
yeah, so we do have these budget line items would be for companies to come out, such as an oil company to do their usual inspection, like you would do a residential house, filters, all that good stuff. And then we also have some more line items if there is any supplies costs, it's lower down in the 5.6, but those would be the budget line items to cover any maintenance and repairs for those items.
So obviously, we felt there was a need to increase in HVAC.
Correct.
Council Comito, we are aware that we have some improvements to make in the cleanliness of the buildings. This year, Director Mendes, Director Andrade, and I created an annual maintenance schedule, put to paper the monthly responsibilities across the district. We have updated the first and second shift custodial responsibilities at the elementary, and we're moving to the middle school and the high school so that we can address that very concern.
That's great to hear because it's just, when we're trying to attract people, and first impressions, when you drive down Brayton Road, it's just not there, unfortunately. And paint, spruce, leaves, grass cut. I mean, the fields are getting cut, but you could go and look at our schools, and the grass is six inches high around the flagpole. So maintenance is, if we're gonna increase stuff, and I'm not just talking about that, and we need to get the work done. And I know there was a cut last year or on the janitorial side, right? So that doesn't help the cause either, so.
We have
In all
reduced
fairness.
custodial staff. That has been a challenge. And at the same time, we need to be much clearer about custodial schedules.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before we move on to any other questions, I want to go back to the rubbish disposal services and the dumpster rental services. And I thank Counselor Paul for bringing this up. Prior to your tenure here, Mr. Haskins, I was on the Budget Committee and I brought this up. I don't think we've ever budgeted this line item correctly to the penny. In fact, every single year, it seems like we budget a number and then we actually spend ends up being more. And this is one of those where it should be, like, whatever the contractual number is, like, that should be the easiest one out of all these line items to calculate. And so it was, as we look back on FY '25 unaudited, you know, we spent 38,623. We're budgeting FY '27 36,500. You know, that should be a number, like, whatever the heck the contract says, that should be the number there.
The problem is, John, a little bit of that is the contract does have a increase in January. So it's only so you don't know what the increase would be. They have leeway from 2 to 5%. So
Yeah, that
It's-
should be a rider on our contract.
So
So
we-
if they're
correct,
jerking
but-
your chain around,
yeah,
like, we need to
have our
know.
own contract though, based on your obligation, correct?
We bid that out, though. I mean, that's something I think we want to reach out to Mega about, because
But
this should be,
yeah, I
like,
can speak to Administrator
dartboard.
Jones, but the contract I received when I came on board, that's what it was.
yeah, and I'm not saying this is your
No,
fault,
yeah,
right? I mean, this
yeah.
goes back 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
years, whatever the case may be,
But,
when I brought this up.
Yeah, the reason it's less money is because we did remove the dumpster at Fort Barton. So right now, we're bringing that trash back to the high school dumpster, so. So that's why it's less, but
How many
yeah.
dumpsters do we have?
So we have four
Four
schools,
dumpsters?
4 dumpsters,
Yeah.
yeah. The middle school and high school.
We're gonna have a conversation with Mega about this.
Yeah, and Administrator Jones and I have discussed this once you guys get into your
John, I mean,
new
even
contract.
The fire department, and I think recently, as this past year, just added dumpsters to the outlying stations. North Tiverton has always had a dumpster from Mega, and they would give it to us at a very low cost. So I don't know if maybe it all needs to be looked at, so.
This number,
It's outrageous.
this dumpster rental number is part of the contract that we bid, right? So it's very similar to the heating oil that Mr. Andrade goes through the RFP process for. And then we say, thank you for your good work. We're gonna piggyback on what you've come up with, and that's what we join to. So if they're gonna do the same for us, like, this number should be precise. And if there's variability, you know, in the middle of the year, 2 to 5%, like, I have a serious problem with Mega not giving us a legitimate number.
Related though, John, so you have 4 schools now, although you're still doing transition services at Fort Barton, so there's not a dumpster there?
There's not, we've been bringing the trash
Okay.
in the school.
So was
trucks
there
back.
any reduction?
Yeah,
two?
that's why
what
there's
that
a
one-
savings,
That's
yeah.
what little savings is,
Yep,
okay.
Yep, exactly.
But council, look what the savings is.
$750.
Yeah,
absurd.
that's,
That's absurd.
unfortunately, it's an 8-yard dumpster, and it's once a week, so yeah, it's not much, but the big hitters are. Yeah, you can't, so high school and middle school have bigger dumpsters, and they get picked up twice a week. So they're like $1,400 a month, just, yeah, so, yeah, it's different, pickups different. What is it? No, middle school is, the height, one of them's 8, one's 8 and one's 10. High school, middle school get picked up twice a week, elementary once a week. Yeah, yeah, one's 10 yards, one's 8, but yeah, twice a week, yeah.
Okay, sorry to belabor the point. The trash service frustrates me to no end.
Yep.
Well, and it's a potential $37,000 savings to them.
Yeah.
If we can figure this out.
Counselor Perry, sorry to cut you off, sir.
No, that's fine. No problem.
Just one,
Go ahead. No. Have we looked into reducing class sizes at any of the schools?
Counselor, we have looked at that. We had the potential of reducing for kindergarten for next year. However, we currently have 77 students who are enrolled. And last year, we had 26 students enroll between May and September. So we're looking at continuing with 5 classrooms at approximately 21 students per classroom. We do not, looking at class caps, have the opportunity to reduce class sizes beyond.
Even at the high school or the middle school, or is there any possibility? I know they move around quite often.
Certainly
hearing,
not at the middle school. The middle school has received probably the majority of staffing cuts over the last couple of years. We are looking at class scheduling at the high school.
Right.
We, this year, are proposing to combine our honors and AP programs in order to provide greater flexibility. However, that effort is not in an attempt to reduce staffing, it's to provide greater flexibility with staffing. One of the issues at the high school is that we currently do not have remedial mathematics support, and we do not have a reading specialist. So we're looking at combining some of our classes in order to free up some of our math, social studies, and English teachers to provide that remedial support. So that combination wouldn't result in a staff reduction. It would result in a staff reallocation to help provide a better personalized supports for students.
Right. Okay, and I just want to, and I attended probably 95% of the school committee meetings when they were going over the budget this year. And I want to thank the school committee for half-heartedly trying to do the budget in open session, half-heartedly. I didn't see each line item going over individually like we do. This is the first time I've seen a line item budget from the school committee. Now, just in this brief discussion here, there must have been 5, 6, 7 different questions asked. I didn't see one question asked by a school committee person, except for this packet. And this packet was presented at one of the meetings I went to. And the big concern that night was, and I'll never forget this, I'm going to promise you I'm going to get you out of here by 9 o'clock. I'm going to promise you I'm going to get you out of here by 9 o'clock. And they weren't concerned about what was in this packet. And that aggravated me that night. These were cuts that were made by a school committee member. No, I'm not going to get
Proposed cuts.
proposed cuts that were made by a school committee member.
Councilor Perry, if I may address that, I disagree with you.
Oh, don't disagree with me.
No,
Because it's on tape. It's on tape. I'll rerun the tape for you.
We can look at the tape. I respectfully disagree with you. The school committee did go line by line through the budget. There were a number of suggestions that resulted.
There were cuts made?
There were
There were cuts made
reductions.
from the school committee?
There were reductions that were made, yes. We did
I want to
reduce
know
line
which
items.
ones they were. I would like a list of them. From you. I would like a list of them.
I would be happy to provide that.
Okay, I'll be waiting for them.
There were 8 hours of recorded school committee
8 hours,
meetings.
not 15.
We had budget sessions of members of the school committee.
I went to all of them.
Well, we also had budget sessions with members of the committee, not the full school committee, and not a quorum of the committee, to review those line items. So there was,
I like them,
in public session, I would say there were at least, I'd estimate, at least 8 hours of public session.
correct, not 15 like was stated. It's all on tape, Mr. Haskins.
I understand, but I would say 8 hours of review of the budget
It's 4 meetings.
could be considered substantial review.
Really? And it wasn't 8 hours. Your meetings are from 7 to 9.
We
You
held
didn't
a,
spend 2 hours on, I went to the meetings, Mr. Haskin.
we held a 3-hour Saturday budget
I
workshop.
was there.
And we had three
I was
school.
there.
And we had 3 school commit, 2 additional school committee meetings.
Correct, and you
with the
didn't
sole-
spend a total of 7 to 9 hours on the budget. I was there.
I believe we had a substantial review of the budget, and I think we had a thorough analysis of each of the line items. So we can
We
respectfully
can
disagree.
agree to disagree,
Okay,
but it's on tape.
agreed.
And I want the
As
list
is-
of
as
the
is
cuts,
this.
I want the cuts that were made by the school committee in writing from you.
I would be happy
Because you
to,
said you had them.
I would be happy to meet your
I'll
request.
be waiting for them.
Wouldn't it reflect on what we're looking at?
This proposal is the result of the school's administration
Now,
and
let's
the school
get back to
committee
this. Let's get back to this.
collaborating on the total budget request.
Why weren't these, they were like haphazardly discussed?
I'm not sure which document you're referring to, sir. I can't see it from here.
It was
me to bring it to you?
motions made by another school committee.
Yeah, it's in front of Mr. Andrew.
a separate,
Yeah, this is separate.
document.
No, right there.
No, he's got,
No, they don't have that.
yeah, there's words on that, there's no.
Yeah, sir, this is not a public document. I have
It's not
never
a public
seen,
document.
I've never seen this document before.
You've never seen, no,
No,
no, you haven't.
I have not.
You're right.
I'd be happy to review it and get back to you, sir.
Thank you.
Copies, sir? Counselor Perry?
You didn't make any, I don't think.
Not present, but like, do you?
I'm
do
done
you have
for
a-
now.
Do you have a digital copy of said document?
No, I don't.
But if that's the only copy you have and you're looking to make cuts, we should probably look at it.
Yeah.
If you want to, sure.
That has to be made public.
I'll put it in
Yeah.
It's
public,
a
I'll put it in
public
public
record
record.
now.
Well, I mean, but if that's
Public
the, I
record
just,
now.
if that's the only one,
That's
then
the
I want to
only
make sure that the
one.
clerk is the one who is in possession of it before the end of this meeting. Okay. That's,
Patrick, Patrick, is there a copy machine? No. Okay, not here.
that's my concern. I don't, no, I don't want you to like take it with you and then all of a sudden now we have no
need to
clue what it
review
is.
No,
So, Mr. Haskins, do you remember hearing about it?
I have not seen that document.
But do
I
you
have not
remember
heard
hearing about it?
I do not remember hearing about it either.
Oh
But
my
I will tell you
Combination of
that
one.
Mr.
the,
Haskins, please.
the school committee process is very similar to the town council process, where any member may make a motion,
Yes.
and that motion is seconded,
Yes.
discussion and voted. So
The
whichever,
motions- The motions were made,
Yep,
then
and you don't remember them.
I have not reviewed the
Yes, I wrote
document,
that.
sir. I'd be happy to
You got
review it.
short-term memory loss?
I have,
All right,
again,
all right,
sir,
let's,
Counselor,
if the gloves are gonna come off,
I don't
then
need
haven't
you
let them
speaking
come
to
off.
me.
I mean, so look, I haven't seen the document. I don't know how more plain I can be about it. I'd be happy to review it and get back to you.
Thank you.
Counselor Perry, we'll make sure that the clerk creates a digital record so that all parties can take a look at it.
and send it to us too, Jim.
Mr. Andre, do you remember
So,
that?
hold on, can I remind the council that
haven't seen
you
what's
have
in
the
the
ability,
document,
They want to see the document?
you have the
Sam?
ability,
Look
I'm
at
sorry, you have the ability to make a cut to the bottom line.
Yes.
Anything that the school committee may or not, taken out of, but you have the ability, the ultimate authority on the final school budget rests with this body. So to the extent that you believe that any of these cuts, whether they were discussed or not, were justified
It
or not
doesn't matter.
justified, that you can make that cut. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but my-
But it comes up, I think what the solicitor is trying to convey is that while we have line items in front of us here, our responsibility is to the bottom line
Bottom line,
solely.
right, correct.
And so if we take the sum total of whatever's in that packet, we could in theory vote and take the sum total
Yeah,
of
we
whatever's
can
in that packet
subtract it.
and take it off the bottom line and then provide it to the schools. And the schools very well could say, these are great cuts, but we're not gonna make these cuts at these line items, we're gonna make
Gonna
cuts
cut
elsewhere,
somewhere
we're gonna
else.
cut staff, right? So that's well within their purview.
Or somewhere
Yes.
else, it doesn't have to.
As an example, right, as an example, I'm not suggesting you cut staff. Counselor Burke.
more of a process question. One is, and I appreciate that you haven't examined that document. I did hear the chairwoman say that she must have been aware of that document because she said it's not a public document. So I'll just
Right,
leave that
she
at
was
that.
aware of it.
However, Mr. Perry, I am, and maybe it's the way I heard it, when you were describing the meeting process, you had said that there were separate meetings with, not even individual, but several, and maybe I had it wrong, several members of the school committee outside of public meetings?
No.
Okay.
There was never a quorum of school committee members in the administration reviewing outside of the public process.
Okay. However, would it have been Greg and I sitting with you as school committee members, talking about all the line items, and then John and Denise having a separate meeting with you?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. That's what I just make sure, because I'm concerned, A, about the public nature of it, and B, about possible OMA violations, and I don't want to see that.
Yep, correct. No, we are very aware of Open Meetings Act. There was never a quorum of school committee members and administration looking at the budget. We have followed the public process to a T.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Any other councilors have any questions? Otherwise, I'd like to dive into some specific line items.
Not a question, but based on the earlier conversation, it sounds like we will be cutting at least $241,455 because of the gaming
I have the final
allocation.
number here, so with the plus 60,000 on the health insurance and minus the numbers on the gaming side, you're at 36,503,799, which represents a 2.29% overall increase year over year. I don't have the.
Overall, is that what?
Overall, that includes whatever the state aid numbers are.
Can we just look at local though?
Just look at.
Because that's what we have to really think about for the tax.
This reflects the change.
I can't
So-
figure that, I didn't figure that number out.
So John,
Yes.
so the increase, if you go to page 4 of the packet, so the gaming revenue increase is there, the 241, and the difference was taken from the town appropriation taxes.
Yeah, but the other number should have changed.
Right, it's still in your operating budget. It still shows, the 241 still shows in
We're
the operating.
still, our operating budget is tying to a grand total, 36,769,000.
But is
No,
that-
no, the local, yeah, but the local portion,
Correct, but our operating budget is in total, grand total, which includes CT tuition, gaming revenue, other revenue.
So I think part
Our
of the.
operating budget doesn't, our operating budget's in total, is what I'm trying to say, and I think this answers your question. It doesn't equal the total of the 36,312, which is local and education state aid. We have another 385,000 through other revenue sources. So,
What Mike is saying,
we don't look at that for
look at
the
any-
local
So-
allocation.
so what I'm trying to say is if you were to take away the gaming revenue line items and take away the gaming revenue in the other revenue section, we're
No,
still.
no. I'm saying you're double counting it. Right now, it's in the operating, in the
Correct.
UCOA budget.
Correct.
I'm saying if we have to take that out of the UCOA budget,
Because you have
and
it
it's going to
Correct.
reduce the local allocation by that amount.
Yeah, we can't, well, and I understand from like UCOA doing
Yeah.
the way that they do their budgeting or their accounting, that it probably has to be represented, because this came up when, again, your predecessor, Mr. Haskins, we would get a budget, and then we would find out 6 months down the line that the budget had changed, because that's what the state supposedly mandated, that whatever the initial allocation was, that number, if monies were transferred out, would be changed elsewhere.
Okay.
So let me reframe it.
yeah,
Your operating budget
should be.
right now includes the 241,000, correct?
Correct.
So we need to back it out of the operating budget because it's calculated elsewhere. So if we back it out of the operating budget and back it out of the local portion, that, and without your other items, Mr. President, that comes out to a new total, instead of 109,655, it comes out to 855,200
So
for the
what-
local appropriation.
So what number you decrease in, so you're looking at the town appropriation tax line
I'm
item?
looking at the top line on
Yep,
page 4.
correct, correct.
Okay, the change, I'm not looking at the total, I'm
If
looking
you
at the
did that, we would
change.
have to make up another 241.
Why?
Why?
Because
'Cause
it's
we
in the
already-
capital line item, where we need that, to tie our budget, we need that 30.3.
But we're
number.
not we're not taxing the local,
Yeah, but-
we're not putting in the tax rate.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying. This 109.6
Mm-hmm.
is for the local tax rate, correct?
The 1096 is for the local, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which
since-
that should not be the case, because if 241,
Correct, comes off the
455.
capital side.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So we're not taxing the people, but you need to have that in your ride budget.
Yeah.
But set aside UCOA. The 1096 right now include, the 30,336 includes the casino for those for the items that were approved last time. Yes?
Why are they there?
What is it? It's there because we're tying to the total, other revenue, gaming revenue.
But
Which
we're not
hap-
taxing people for it.
Correct. You're not taxing, but if you were to take
No,
that
you
out.
are taxing.
So to answer
No,
what Counselor
hold on.
Burke
Give
is
me one
suggesting is
second.
the increase, the percent change, assuming that we back out the 241, 455, and the addition of the 60,000 that was identified from the health insurance increase that came post the budget being submitted by the school committee to the town council, should be 915,200. So instead of 109,655, it should be 915,200. And then effectively, you're crossing out the gaming revenue capital line item down below, because that has no bearing, because we're not putting it into recurring operations. This is a one-time spend.
Right.
So
That's one thing, I think we're both going to the same spot.
realistically speaking, from the way the budget should be allocated, right, the dollars that were put in, when we look at that line item here, where is it? It's right here. On the last page, line items 57309 and 57311 that were highlighted in yellow, those should be zeros, because those capital allocations go into Fund 960, which is the school capital.
Yes. Because what you're doing is you're putting it in there, right? We can't tax that amount if we're giving it to you from casino.
So the question is the 30,336 inclusive of the 241 of gaming and revenue? Or is it not? Because our original budgetary request was 4%, was
Correct.
reduced to 3.75.
Yep.
Was that reflective of the reduction
it's
based on gaming?
No, it was only a reduction of the 73,000, which was the difference between the 168.5 and the 241.
Why?
Never had it there to begin with.
I
Correct.
think we're both going to the same spot.
We're saying the
Well,
same.
you are, but
just for
the way you're
clarification.
saying is the local taxes are going to decrease, which is gonna make us make up, we won't have the.
No.
you
What,
know?
what we're saying is that the local taxes should have decreased because we
Correct.
decided to buy
It
with
did,
capital.
it did by the 73,000. That was the difference between the 168 and the 241.
What?
But
Yeah, because originally
Okay.
we asked for 4%.
So I don't have that paperwork in front of me.
Correct.
So
So the original
for that piece, it was for
March
the.
19th request.
For the curriculum was
4%.
73, right?
Correct, correct.
For the for the Chromebooks, what was
The 73,000 was the additional allocation you provided. And that
in
came-
total?
Correct, and that came on a local appropriation line item. The original request back on March 19th was the 4%. When we came in front of you, we got the additional 73,000. I took it out of the local appropriation to bring it down to 3.75%. Which is
So
the same way we
we-
did it last year as well.
Well, so realistically speaking, though, because the $60,000 increase in the health insurance isn't in here.
Correct.
All we're looking at is a net change of minus $13,000.
I get what I get what you're saying. I just want to make sure that
I still
we're not trying to scramble for 241,000 is what my point is, you know what I mean?
It seems to me that technically, instead of 3.75, you are actually asking for 3.04.
No,
No, the total would be 3.11 with town appropriation and state aid.
375.
375 from the town.
Correct. In the budget docket would be the total, which is a 3.11% change.
So they're not asking 311.
So just so we're clear here, right? So the numbers here on the giant spreadsheet.
Yep.
This was approved by the school committee prior to the meeting that we had that we appropriated the
Correct.
additional 73,000.
Correct.
And prior to the additional $60,000 increase in the health insurance.
Correct. In total, the
The-
36.7.
This
million.
PowerPoint here.
Yep.
This is as of, let's call it yesterday.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, Correct. So what we did on Tuesday evening is the school committee reapproved, reducing that 73,000, and that's why you have your numbers in front of you with
Okay.
that reduction, correct. But grand total wise, our proposal is that same number, 36,769,000.
Well, minus 13,000,
Correct, yeah, yeah,
because,
Yeah.
correct. Separate issue, but yes, I know what you're going to.
oh, I'm sorry, actually, plus 60,000.
Plus 60, but
Where does the health insurance increase? Is that accounted for in this number, or
that
is
is
that?
not, that is not. That grand total has not changed, so that would be, we would
So,
need
so the local
60,000.
number actually needs to go up.
Correct.
That 3.75 gotta go up.
It's got, so, yes, so,
But however, the school committee made a motion Tuesday night to approve this number, and we have to find.
60 grand.
If 60 grand.
so if we vote this number, you guys gotta find 60 grand inside of your budget. Okay.
Correct.
Now I think we're all talking on the
Yes.
same page.
Yep. The
All
school-
right.
School committee decided not to do anything other than take your request from the gaming revenue allocation.
Okay, so, quick question here, I'm gonna go, rapid fire on some line items here. 51,322, severance.
Yes.
So, we anticipating some retirements?
Yes.
All right,
So the other problem is we have a lot of, like this year, we had 2 that retired during the school year. Actually, 3, excuse me. So that number is kind of variable. We already are notified of 1 retirement, and like I said, this year, we had 3 that happened during the school year that we were unnotified of.
okay, thank you. Classroom coverage, 51,339. Yes,
Yep.
How soon do they need to notify you?
It's like 30 days.
So you could have way more?
Yeah, we have 3 this year. We had 1 in January or December, 1 in February, and now we have 1 this week, tomorrow.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they should give you you should be getting a better notice than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have to, on the municipal side, I think in the fire side, we're gonna give 6 months. Or is that for the
so, and I agree with you, right, that's probably collectively bargained.
Correct.
I know, I'm just,
But my question here would be, is you said you have how many notified already for next year?
So we had 3 this year, we have 1 for next year.
You have 1 already for next year?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What is that gonna do to 51,110? Because I'm assuming you're not replacing a top step teacher with a top step teacher.
We strategize that way. Sometimes it's a challenge, especially with hard-to-fill positions like high school math and science. But yes, our attempt is to hire a lower step teacher.
We budget step 4.
Okay.
Yep. Which is.
So is that reflected, if we already know there's
Correct.
1, that's already reflected in the 17,250,976?
Correct.
Okay. Classroom coverage.
Yes.
FY '25, we ran 56,640, we budgeted, oh, sorry, 51,339. Looks like this number's kind of all over the place. Obviously, this is prior to Superintendent Haskins' arrival. That number seemed to spike significantly.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened between 22 and 24, but me being here in 25, 26, and 27, we definitely got a better handle on it. That number can spike when you have unplanned costs such as maternity leaves. So that's classroom coverages when a sub's not available or whatever the case may be, teacher calls out last minute or goes home through. If someone goes home, they come into school sick, they go home before first period, now we're scrambling to pay a teacher $30 to cover a class.
that's what I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah.
So what is a sub for the day?
Yeah, sub is the same.
Outside sub called in.
100, around 150. We have different sub prices, but around average 150.
And then another certified teacher within the building covering 1 class is an additional
$30 per class.
$30 per class.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, 51401, stipend other.
Yes.
Looks like we get a slight increase here.
Yep,
What
that's-
are these stipends covering?
So this one in particular is covering like the music director or the drama coach, stuff like that, mentoring, those type of items, and that's in the CBA for the NEA. So that has to do with the increase. The reason it's not the full 2.5% is because we had some changes, and we don't expect to pay as much mentoring stipends out because we're hoping we have the same staff next year.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all the, between stipend other and stipend athletic coaches, those are all the stipends that are in the NEA contracts.
So that was my next question, is stipend athletic coaches, and it's more, not so much a question, it's more so a comment. It looks like 22, we paid 111,000, 23, 117, 24, 130, FY 25, 174,000. We budgeted 162,000 this year. We're looking at 167. I was told by Mr. Haskins' predecessor that nobody plays sports anymore.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that that number has increased significantly over 22 and 23.
Yeah, so I'm not sure of that, but there is a NEA increase. However, I can tell you, what I'm not sure of is that comment, because we have those sports, and we actually also just increased middle school soccer and track and field over the winter.
I don't know about Tiverton, but I know that statewide and probably nationally, there was a very large decline in participation in athletics during the 2020 to 2023 school years. I saw it in my previous district. Students were just not coming out for sports during and post-COVID. Sports are robust in the Tiverton School Department. Despite having to end our football season early, we do see a lot of participation in sports across the middle school and high school.
And that's fantastic if that's the case, because, I mean, we had one Counselor Comito's daughter because they won the state championship. So I'd like to see that continue.
Yeah, so, oh, go ahead.
Just to talk about that a little bit, although I love the job that they do, the two coaches, mentors that sit up and collect the funds for, this is kind of like a little pet peeve of mine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's a stipend that they're getting paid to collect the money to get into the game.
So that's different from the stipends here. But
Different?
yes, that's
Okay,
coming
then
out.
I'll zip
So
it.
what they're collecting is what they're getting paid from. Separate, that's a student account, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's even worse, right? So we're collecting money on people, but we're paying the two teachers to sit there, and the funds that we're collecting are going back
Yeah.
to the youth
Which
sports.
isn't-
It
it's-
drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know
It
we
just
just-
doesn't even make sense.
And I know we discussed this before, but it's in the contract too. so,
I get
yeah.
it's in the contract.
Yeah.
And I understand the concern, and I believe it's a relatively small percentage of the overall athletic fees that are brought in. But I do hear your point. A portion is going to the process of collecting them.
Right, I would feel much better if those funds are coming back and going to the fields, going to uniforms, going to, right? So a uniform goes missing, me as a parent, I'm paying $75 for a shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the replacement cost, but it just, if those funds, and we're not charging for every sport, right? We're only picking certain sports.
Yeah,
Which I don't understand either.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, because I was a baseball player. That's not
Right.
what you charge for.
Right,
But,
field hockey doesn't get charged, it's like
correct.
football
It's
gets charged,
mostly-
soccer gets charged, and basketball
It's
gets charged.
mostly what's on the stadium field, correct.
Right, I don't understand that, and if that money is just going back to pay the teachers, like I said, I love the people that do it, but I'm just sorry, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But I guess it's different than these stipends.
Correct, yeah, it's kind of
think that-
outside this realm.
The other side of the coin though too is that does that act as supervision for the,
It does.
and also as far as the athletic, the stadium field, football's typically 4 or 5 officials, soccer's typically 3. So versus the other sports where it may be 1 or 2 officials, because that does go towards officials as well, correct?
No, officials is separate. This just goes towards, it's mostly, it goes back to the athletic program. It's a state law. You have to use those state funds to go to the athletic program. So we can't take it out to redo a bathroom, you know what I mean? But, yeah.
Okay, next line item, 52-109, medical buyback. Historically speaking, this number's been higher.
Correct. That has to do with basically the drastic decrease in staffing we've had. So losing 20-plus people, obviously the buyback's a little less, or utilization of people going into the healthcare.
Okay. 52-501, unemployment insurance. This number seems to have gone pretty high in recent memory.
Yep, so again, that has to do with cuts or non-renewals. However, right now, we just have a small budgetary line item for that, and with the hopes that we're able to continue funding our current staffing levels.
Okay. Tuition reimbursement, non-taxable. This appears to have come out of left field in FY '25.
Yep, that's when UCOA RIDE put this new line item in their UCOA budget.
Where was this number before?
If you scroll down to 53301, professional development and training it was all together prior. Yeah, 53301.
So I am,
About 15 line items down from
yeah,
there,
no, I'm
so-
looking at it right here, 53301.
Yep.
It's, I guess the question I have there is, FY '25, we budgeted almost 21,000 into tuition reimbursement non-taxable, and our professional development and training spiked almost $17,500 in that same year.
So you're saying, if you go back, you're saying on 52917?
52917.
Yep, it went up 1,500 or 17%. It's only $1,500.
No. What I'm
Oh.
saying is if I'm looking at the FY '20, the historical, right?
Yeah.
So 53,301, professional development and training, where supposedly tuition reimbursement lived prior to, was, and again, don't take these comments to mean I'm attacking you. I know you're
No,
you're
not
new
at
in this
all.
role.
I'm just trying to answer.
33,186 in '22, 35,365 in '23, 30,252 in '24, 47,492 in '25, the same year that we increased tuition reimbursement non-taxable by $20,000 out of left field. So it would seem to me, I mean, again,
Yep.
looking at the FY '26 budget, we had 8,500 and $5,000 respectively. Now we're looking at $10,000 and $5,000 respectively.
So,
What,
yeah.
what was and again, I don't expect you to know this answer because it's before your time, but what was the genesis of the hockey stick movement in the expenditures in those accounts versus now all of a sudden they're back down lower?
Yeah, I could look, but a lot of that has to do with professional development training. I'm not sure, obviously, without looking what occurred in '22 to '24. I have a little knowledge of '25. But the reason it is what it is, and I'll answer that question, but the reason it is what it is in '26, '27, I'm using the bare minimum obligation that we have to do per the contracts.
Okay.
That's 5,000, well, it's 4,000 to Council 94. I'm using $1,000 layer in case we do have some development training, and 10,000 to NEA. NEA contract did change. That number used to be 20,000. It went down to 10 during negotiations.
Okay.
So, however, what it was in '22 to '24, 25, FY '25, I would have to look. But if I had to guess, more professional development training went into the operating budget, where now we have a lot of it into title grants, Title I, Title II, et cetera. Well, it's essentially Title II, but yeah. So all the professional development that happens in the school comes out of the Title II grant, so out of the operating budget.
Okay. Next item is 53,401, auditing actuarial services.
Yep.
25.5 in '25, 25.5 in '26. Now we're going to 26,775. I'm assuming that number matches ours, Madam Treasurer?
No, it doesn't, and we're probably off. So, we just discussed this week, or last Thursday, I think it was. So,
53,401.
yeah, so we have to go off to RFP. Madam Treasurer has got some early quotes that are scary on both sides, that we have to figure out. But we have to go to RFP. Yeah, we don't split it equally. So our side is built plus UCOA, so it's the audit plus UCOA.
Okay.
However, she probably, excuse me,
Madam
excuse me.
Treasurer.
No, I should say the town pays about 20,000 and we're a little higher. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The comment on it's getting scary, are you seeing an increase on our end?
I was just looking for
We're
our
together.
number.
Just been looking at what other towns are paying.
All right, I just want to make sure that we're accounted for on our end, so.
Well, we have to go for RFP, so we don't know. However, the early indication is the number is going to be much higher than a 5% increase. Yes. But, yeah, However, yeah, we
What's
go
our-
out together.
It's not, I don't think it's in legal services.
So.
No,
We
what,
have our own line item.
You have your
which
own
line, which our account?
On ours?
Yeah.
It is,
I mean, if this is a scary number coming up in this conversation, I want to make sure that when we go through our budget,
2,200. Your insurance. The other scary number.
okay. All right, thank you. I'm sorry? Oh. All right, next item, 56,216, lumber and hardware supplies. This number appeared in the FY '26 budget. Again, it's small dollars, but it's $3,000 out of nowhere, and then
So
here it
that's-
is in FY '27
Yeah,
for.
that's just my preference. This account has always been around. A lot of these items were shared in other areas, and I'm trying to break out as much as I can for a better visual for certain expenditures.
So is it fair to say that that number, the 4,000 and the 3,000 prior, came out of a different line item?
Correct. It probably came out of 56101 or one of the plumbing and heating, electrical, custodial supplies underneath it.
What is that used for?
Mostly hardware supplies. Anytime we go to Ace Hardware, caulk, or whatever that stuff, yeah. Paint, yeah.
Councilor DiMederos.
To the debt.
Okay.
Let's go back to last casino request.
Yep.
109.5 and 59.05.
No, it's not.
Sorry. I always forget. So your last casino request was 109.445?
No, 168,500. The 109 was just curriculum and then textbooks.
Right, so it comes out to 168,490.
168,500.
Okay.
Yep.
And so what did you say you took out of the budget?
You-
70-something?
Yep, you increased it to 241,445, which is a difference of 72,995.
Yes.
Right, so why are we only taking 76,000 out of there?
Because the budget, again, is built with the gaming revenue in with the 168,500. I got a budget on the total.
No, let's go back to what the town is giving you.
Correct. The school committee originally asked for 4% on the town side.
Right.
They brought it down to 3.75%, which is essentially the decrease of $73,000.
But they didn't bring it down somewhere else. They brought it down somewhere else.
They brought it down by the 73,000, the additional
But why
request.
73?
Because 168,500 minus 241,500 is 73,000.
I still don't get it. Okay, so I still don't get
Yeah,
what you're saying. Does it make sense to you, Mike?
Next. I don't know why you guys are talking about this as another.
Well, no, just let Mike.
So the 168 was already built into the budget.
168,500 is built into the budget, the total budget, correct?
Okay.
Right.
In the operating side.
Well, our budget's just one budget, correct?
No, there's an operating budget.
There is an
We
operating.
not
only
just
have,
one budget.
we only have an operating budget.
It's what you're taxing. Your operating
No,
budget.
again, I get what you're trying to say on the tax side. However, my budget is a full operating budget with a grand total cost.
No.
No.
What is the local amount that you are requesting? So that local
30
amount
the 30
includes the 168, correct? Originally.
No. You can look at it, so what
No,
I'm trying to.
that's how we have to look at it.
That's the way we have to
Correct.
look at it.
Correct, but you also have to look at it, like our budget, I can't present the budget to you for $30 million. I need to present a budget to you, which is $36 million. That's a school budget.
No, you have to present a budget.
How do you
that-
present,
that-
how can I
that-
present a budget that's 30 million without any education, state aid, CT, tuition, gaming?
Well, because that's the one we're concerned. That's the increase.
You have
why-
to show the
That's
difference
the increase in
from
the
year
tax
over
rate.
year on the
Correct,
local
which-
level.
Which is at the top level of that budget packet.
And that included 168,000.
No, it did not. The 168,000 is the other revenue. If you look at FY '26, the 312,605 is what you guys approved
No,
last year.
no. So before we approved the 241,
You see what Mike's
okay?
saying, right?
Yeah.
Before we approved the 241, where was that money in your budget?
In the line items, technology and software.
Okay.
Correct.
So, that was already built in the budget that was approved by the school committee before you came to us.
Right.
To ask for this money.
Correct.
Okay. So that was 168, plus we gave you additional to bring up to 244. That's where the 73 comes from.
Correct, yep.
So in your budget, there's $168,000.
Yep.
$1,000.
Correct.
For a portion of that,
Correct,
plus the additional 73.
correct. I guess let me put it this way, is if you didn't give us capital,
Just forget about that.
But we're
Just
not,
forget
because the
about
capital doesn't go to the tax rate.
Right, we're looking
Correct.
at the
Casino
tax
doesn't go to
rate.
the tax rate.
correct, so that's why we need the town appropriation, which I have there. We're asking for 3.75%, which is
But that
did-
goes to the tax rate.
correct.
Right, but did you take 168,500? Why?
Because that's
took
coming from
241,
other revenue.
445. So, all right,
It was budgeted.
It was, yeah, it was budgeted.
We
Let
also
me-
budgeted CT tuition and Medicaid, that's what I'm saying, you guys,
No.
that's,
let me,
No,
Can I cut through
when the-
these?
when the
Do
school
you mind if
committee-
Madam Chair
When the
speaks?
school committee did the original budget, you didn't budget the gaming revenue.
we did, we had the gaming revenue. in.
When you presented the original budget to the town administrator?
Correct.
It wasn't approved till after
Wasn't
April.
approved.
Mr. President, can I do my best to try to explain?
I think I can very succinctly state it. If you look at this page, right?
Yes.
They're asking for 3336, 903, 5975, 411 comes from the state aid formula. So where the adjustment comes for the dollars that we expended in capital is under the other revenue piece, that 241455. Which,
Which
and I understand where Counselor Burke's coming from, because we don't want that number going into the maintenance of effort.
Right.
It's not.
And I agree.
And it's not.
How can you tell me it's not, though, when it's in?
Because, let's just put it this way, if you were to not, so the reason it went in front of you and was presented to the town administrator on March 19th, is because the school committee approved our request to you. If you don't approve that request, I have to come up and find $168,000 worth in my budget. And it could be eliminating, it would most likely be eliminating staff, not those Chromebooks and curriculum.
Yeah, but where is the 168?
In the gaming revenue, other revenue line item.
That's not what we do business.
It's how we've always done it, same as last year.
We've only had gaming revenue for 3 years.
Right.
I'm saying as far as I'm here, it was last year, Mike.
But you
No,
can't-
no, that was a one-time thing last year, and we said that.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. If you look,
Because this is the delta between last year and this year.
Yes.
so what I'm trying to say is, if you were to take it out,
Mike's right.
So
Mike's
I think probably the best bet here to cut through this would be to ask Madam Treasurer her opinion, because
No.
in the end, you're the one who calculates the
Okay,
end all
let me
be all.
ask a simple question.
Okay.
Let me
So-
ask a simple
so,
question.
Can I just let me give one response. If you look at your certified budget doc from FY '26, you approved, in that budget doc, in that certified budget doc, you approved the $35,217,919.
But we
Which is local
approved,
and state.
right, but
The
we only
300
approved
wait,
local.
Correct. The 312,000 that you approved for gaming revenue last year is in the other revenue line item, which is part of the grand total. So you approved local and state, 35,217,919.
No, we didn't approve.
That's in your certified budget document.
But-
we show line items for local aid,
Right, but,
state aid.
right.
Correct. The school appropriation number is 35,217,919. Correct.
But local,
But we're not looking at revenue, we're looking at
No, I understand
expenses.
that, but I just want to make clear.
Yes.
So that number has to be reflected. State aid and the,
that's not what we're
I
saying.
know, I'm just letting.
No, I know. What we're,
Right,
what we're,
it's reflected, but it's,
I know what
it's
you
a
guys
total
are
budget,
both
Mike.
saying. I'm
You have to
trying
approve the total
explain it.
budget.
I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to explain it the
What I'm,
best way I
what
can.
I'm trying to ask you
Yes.
is where's the 168?
That's in our budget, but in our grand total, if you look at the bottom line number, that's 36,769,706.
So it's not in the 30,
No, that's not our total number. We're building a
but if
budget.
you look at
But
your,
what I'm trying to say is, you're trying to say, give me a budget with a local number. We can't do that because there's other components.
you
of
have
a-
to do that in order
So-
to, the tax levy.
here's,
Correct, which is
here's
the
the
30
question. Here's the question, Mr. Andrade.
Yeah.
Right? If we give, let's say we approved the school bathrooms when those were asked for,
Yep.
okay? School capital. That doesn't go into the budget, right? We don't increase your budget by $800,000 and then back it out on the revenue line item.
It's a transfer.
Right? We we're purchasing the computers and the software, not the software, but the curriculum. We're purchasing those out of capital. So they should come out of the budget request because that's gonna go into Fund 360, which is the casino gaming school capital number.
Correct.
So effectively, like, the way you're accounting for it, I understand. The way that Counselor Burke is explaining it is also correct.
Correct.
And my preference would be that the purchase of the Chromebooks and the purchase of the curriculum is not in the actual operating budget request. That goes into the casino gaming,
Right.
Fund 360, because effectively what's gonna wind up happening is if we continue to do it this way and back it out with revenues,
MOA.
all we're doing is year over year increasing the MOE number
Yes.
Correct.
in the way that
Yes.
it's accounted for. So if it was accounted for incorrectly in FY '26, right,
That's
we
fine.
can't go back and undo that.
No.
I mean,
So
in
what I'm
theory,
trying
we
to say is-
should.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was incorrectly accounted for. So if you were to take it out of the budget, right? Your budget number line item goes down by 241,000, 36,528,324.
Yes.
Right.
That number also includes other revenue for Medicaid and
But this
tuition.
isn't other revenue.
No,
This is
isn't
capital.
other- This is just.
No, I know, I'm saying I know,
This is
I'm saying,
casino.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm asking you to take it out. Take the 241 out. That number goes down, grand total drops from 36,700 to
Yeah, but
36,500.
Medicaid, that does not count for
It's,
for the increase in tax rate. That is, that
Correct.
is other.
Correct, that
So
is
you sh- that
that's
could-
why I break it up between
That
two
should
levels.
not be included at all.
Correct, which it's not. However,
But you included the casino.
correct, but if you were to take it out, like we do any other purchase, like a bathroom purchase, if you were to take it out, our grand total request is 36,528,324. To get there, to get to that 36,528,
That's
you
not-
would have to we need to ask for tax appropriation of 30,336,903, which is a 3.7%.
Question.
When we
need
get
to
the
just
tuition
take that
money and the Medicaid money, where does it go?
Say that one more time.
When we get the tuition and Medicaid money, where does it go?
Goes into the revenue account.
Goes into into the town?
School.
School
Special account.
revenue
Okay,
account.
into a special account set aside?
Correct.
Special.
Okay. That's what, so,
Same,
no, it's not the
No,
same,
it's
because
not.
we
No,
no. So
specifically,
what I'm trying to
in our,
say-
but in our ordinance.
Correct.
We specifically
So, if I was to
remove that money
Correct.
from the revenue stream,
Correct.
set it aside, and decide where to put it, so it's not baked into our our portion of the tax rate,
Correct.
or your portion of the tax
So
rate.
that's what I'm saying. So my budget that I'm presenting you tonight, grand total is 36,769. If you were to take that other revenue from wherever line you want to take it from, 385,000, take it out. We're still presenting the same
No.
number.
No.
We
it's-
are
It
ex-
can't
we are.
be. It can't be.
I'm gonna try this a different way.
Go ahead.
Can we all go to page 4?
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Okay.
But see, that's.
Brendan, wait a minute. The school budget is 36 million, in total,
Right.
$36,769,000. I don't need a chair.
But that's not what we're.
He's demonstrating to us where he's gonna get all his money. He's gonna get his money from the town, from the state, from the casino.
Different sources.
From the tuition, from Medicare.
Right.
Right. So if you look at what we gave them last year, that 29,240 does not include any casino money.
Correct.
But now it is.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think it does,
It
no.
does not.
No, because he's just showing you,
But you
which he
never-
always does, which the school
Thank
has
you.
always had,
No, but
a
that's-
bigger budget
So you-
than
yes.
what
The
we
school-
show on our docket.
The school always has a bigger budget because
But
of those
that's
other
not what we're
sources.
saying.
So,
We're saying you have it
can I-
in here as a line item.
Can I
Correct,
can I ask?
because it ties to
To
the
make it
grand
30,000.
total.
Yeah, but if-
But it's
if-
tying to your grand total, on
Right,
page
if,
4.
if this top number here,
You have two totals.
36,312,
Correct, thank you.
said 36,769, then I would agree with you.
Correct.
So can I phrase it a different
It
way?
does say that.
Right?
No,
And I-
no, no. We're
Go to
looking at
page 4.
this.
Yes.
We're
Page
gonna look at
4.
page 4.
But we're looking at this.
Don't
So,
look at that.
So it is, but here's my point, is this is to some extent semantics, but to another extent, no, right? Because effectively what we're doing when we count the gaming capital allocation to purchase capital expenditures, and we're accounting for it as other revenue, right? It should not be in the other revenue, it shouldn't be in the budget. The budget line item should be zero because we're going to purchase it out of school capital,
So I'm
Fund
saying you
360.
you can take that
So-
out,
Take it out of the
but it's
budget.
still only gonna change the grand total line, not your local appropriation that you would approve tonight.
Right. You could take it out of the 36,
Yes.
769.
So you can take it out, where you
That
could
affect
take
the
$384,500 out of salary, say.
Here, but here's my concern, and I
Yeah.
think this is the concern that
Maintenance
the
of
rest,
effort.
that the rest of the council share, is maintenance of effort,
The
right?
maintenance
So,
of effort is on the number that was approved every year going forward, which last year was the 29,240. We're asking for 3.75%.
but what I'm.
That's the
what-
MOE, yeah.
But what we're saying is that if we were to pull 241 out of the grand total, right? So we're pulling it out of the grand total.
Yep.
Your total budget ask is 36,769,769 minus 241,445.
Then you would have to remove that line item there.
Correct.
Right.
Which it shouldn't be there because that's
Shouldn't
not
be there.
revenue number, that is capital expenditure.
Correct.
That's his.
You're still getting it, it's just, it's
Shouldn't
just,
be
I
there.
think it should,
Yeah.
I
So
think
you
it should
can
be
remove it
accounted no
from-
different than if we do,
You could remove
if
it
we
from
do a
revenue.
soccer field renovation
Correct.
project.
Zero. It's net zero.
It's net zero. You're removing from expenditures and revenue. But your local number that I'm still asking is the same, no matter what.
Yeah,
It's not part of the MOE.
It's not part of MOE. That's where, yes,
Are those supplies in your budget right now?
correct. But if you were to
But
take them
does it
out,
count,
it does not count to MOE. That 30,336,903,
does not have those line items?
technically not, the way, it's hard to answer. So I'm saying, if you remove it, you gotta remove it from other sources. That local appropriation number you need to approve would stay the same.
Essentially, everything.
Correct. The other revenue means nothing to you guys. You're really focused on 30,336,903.
But I
Correct.
understand the concern
He's just
was-
balancing his
Correct.
budget and
I'm
showing
just
you
I'm
where
giving
the
you a
money's coming
balanced
from.
budget
Well,
of
my
what,
question was, are your requests in your operating budget?
yes,
Does it count for the 30 million?
no, it does not.
That was my question.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to say. If you were to remove that 385,000, you can remove it wherever you want. Where the local town appropriation is still gonna remain the same. It's not part of that number. Yes, that $30.3 million number, correct. All those other numbers, correct. Need nothing to you guys. It's a balanced budget for the school
with,
committee.
with the caveat being that the 60 grand for the health insurance is not included in the
Correct.
FY
That would
'27
be the
budget
issue.
request.
That would be the issue.
So we pulled 71,000, right, out,
Yep.
that was the delta, or not 71.
73.
70, we pulled 73,000.
Correct.
We added in 60. Okay, so really, the ask isn't 3.75, the ask is higher.
It is, however, my earlier comment, the school committee chose not to
Not to
include that
worry
in their
about it.
ask. We're gonna find that money elsewhere.
Yes.
They chose on Tuesday evening,
Apparently
just
they
this
can
past
find
Tuesday.
60,000.
What is it? To approve the 3.75%? It was approved Tuesday? What do you mean? Discuss what?
On Tuesday, our conversation was limited to adjusting the request by the 70-some-odd thousand that had
Correct.
been already appropriated for the casino funds. That was the extent.
Correct.
Should we have discussed adding? Maybe, but I don't know by charter if we would have, if we would
Correct,
have.
correct,
Because we are limited to one budget
Correct.
submission on March 19th.
correct.
All right, we can decrease it.
Yeah, you can always set
It's
an
not
adjusted budget.
provided for it in the charter.
So realistically speaking, it's,
do.
it's a 3.8% increase if we added the 60,000 back in for
That
the
would be
health.
wonderful, because it'll save a job.
We're not gonna do that, though.
Well, but that's exactly what it
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do, we don't have the money to do that.
So, all right, so any more questions on the specific budget? And if not, I'm gonna make a suggestion on how we handle this, unless anybody else has anything to add. Counselor Comito, you look like you're ready. No? All right, so here's my thought, because obviously Counselor Perry had some document that outlined some additional potential savings, which we haven't had input from the school department, nor have the other counselors had a chance to take a look at. My suggestion is we sit on voting on the budget until our Monday meeting, where we already have it on the agenda. to do the final, and then potentially even come back and do the final on the 13th.
We might.
Is everybody in agreement there? Anybody have any objections, I should say? Counselor Janik?
I think that's the fairest thing to do. Just as an FYI, I will not be here on either of those. I will be out of the country. I will be out of the country.
She'll be out of the country.
All right, so,
Enjoy your trip.
Everybody knows, even the neighborhood.
all right, so Monday, we'll revisit after we've had a chance to ingest copies of, and obviously make sure you guys have copies as well.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. Yes, Madam Chair.
And thank you for allowing me to speak. I will just say to you that the document you're referring to has not been shared with the school committee.
So we'll make sure we get copies over to the school committee as
Nor
well.
have we had the opportunity to ponder it, discuss it.
What document? What?
The one that
I'm
Counselor
not
Perry
sure
had.
it really should apply to these deliberations. The school committee took the full package that we had, we discussed it in depth, we took our votes. I really would not recommend that adding documents that the school committee has not reviewed.
Yeah, but because he introduced it into this
Mr.
meeting,
Perry can introduce it.
But now it's a
not-
public document.
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
But it's not something the school committee had the opportunity to review.
Well,
And we
that's-
do not have a meeting
Dave,
between now
speak
and
up.
Monday.
But they'd still be able to answer.
Yeah,
Dave, speak up.
Counselor Perry.
I'm not even going to comment.
I just have a question for all of us.
Yes, Counselor Comito.
So, through this budget process, is there any number that you can come up with that's proved or shows a total savings somewhere along the line that closing Fort Barton, exactly how much money we saved?
So we did that last year.
Right, this is
but
the
what did we
first,
actually-
this is the first full year, right? So we should have,
FY26, yeah.
we should have
So-
a like,
Yeah,
was
I-
it 70,000, 100,000, 200,000?
yeah.
I hope it's a very large number.
It was, so if you think about it, we.
Well, I don't want to think about it, I want to document it.
No, I could document, but I was saying I could speak to it too. I have the numbers off the top of
All
my
right,
head.
thank you.
So. and I'll
Counselor
give-
Perry's asked him several times, so.
Yeah, and I'll give you these.
Well, I don't have them, that's why I'm asking, I don't have any of those numbers.
I have it, it's never been asked to me directly. I shared it
Here I
last.
am.
Yeah, so I shared it last year during budget cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, but
However.
what you shared last
but-
time was potential savings.
No, those were, so.
We want to know actual.
Yeah, so I'll give you that number, but if you don't mind, I'll explain as well. So we had 2 custodians that were eliminated based on Fort Barton not being an elementary school. We saved a .6 principal. We reduced a nurse. We reduced a,
custodians.
2 custodians, a .6
0.6
principal, a nurse, a clerk, a principal's admin, which is the clerk, a few teacher assistants, and a few teachers, which is what I have to get back to you on. We consolidated some classes. I think about 3 classes altogether, so that'd be a reduction of about 3 teachers and 3 TAs. So we estimate, there was some savings with the cafeteria as well, which is the lunch fund. So based on that, if you take an average ballpark of about 100,000 for a teacher, a nurse, salary and benefits, pension, and TAs around 30 to 40, and then a clerk is around 60 to 70. So I can give you those exact numbers, but it's pretty significant.
So with that significant number,
Yep.
we could only come up with a 3.75 to keep everything status quo and operating, right? So that really didn't do us anything.
So Fort Barton saved us last year, FY '26, the current fiscal year. We reduced 20 people last year. So we're hoping, so FY '26 was the staff reduction. So if you remember last year, we made up $1.1 million, something like that, in savings. And a lot of that was through Fort Barton. So to get to the 3.5% request on the local side last year, which is essentially with state aid was like 3.09, to get to that number was the reduction. So by not carrying those teachers or bringing them back, those staff are still eliminated, so that helps you in FY '27.
remains.
Yeah, so I am, not to toot my own horn, but I am proud to say that we had, 30-something layoffs the last 2 years, and we're hoping to have a status quo this year.
Yeah, I
think
mean, I don't
that's-
want any layoffs either.
No, I
but,
think
like,
that's
I mean, we gotta-
significant for our staff.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
we
our
gotta find
biggest,
something here.
yeah, that was our biggest concern, trying to make a budget where we had no layoffs, because, to be honest, we don't know where we'd lay off.
Can I still get those total numbers?
Yeah,
when
I
you-
have it, I just can't open my files right
That's
now
fine.
for some reason, but I will definitely share that with you.
I appreciate
and
it.
the
Thank
rest
you.
of the council.
Any final thoughts or words from the council? Gentlemen, any final?
Nope, thank you.
Just to thank you all. Appreciate the time and attention to the request. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for that very detailed line item budget.
You're welcome.
Looking at A2, all municipal departments, including but not limited to debt service, town clerk, town hall, town administrator, tax assessor, treasurer. Where do you guys want to start?
Not touchscreen, sir.
There you go, it's not touch screen, there you go, you're back, and
Can I go on? Sure.
Who turned it off? All right, so first item we're going to talk about is 9660 debt service. Madam Treasurer, I believe this is where you step in, and there's not much you really need to step in for because these numbers are all calculated. It's part of the debt service schedule. All we have left here is bond payments. So we've got one of which, the THS and Ranger refunded, is paid in full effective this year. This would be the final
Right.
for that one.
So,
We'll adjust it on the revenue side, though.
all right. I don't know where,
You got another one there, Mr. Administrator?
I didn't get it.
Thank you.
Where, tonight? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I don't have it.
So what is this?
This is all our debt scheduled
Okay.
out to maturity. So you know, so the green line is next year.
All right, so our last payment is, the high school ranger. That's our last payment.
Right.
I just so the committee knows what I have. I sat with Denise the other day,
So
and do we have that in?
that's on page 1. So we passed out tonight, this
I
is
don't know what
all
you-
of the money that's available.
I don't know where it is, Denise.
Page 1.
Page 1, though.
That yellow sheet was 3 pages.
Oh, I only have 1 page.
4/30/2026.
I
The only one who
only-
didn't get one is the president, just so we're on the same page.
I didn't get page 1. Oh,
I don't know if, do you have any more in front, or,
We passed out 3 pages.
I just don't have them. No.
all right, so.
So
is-
this first page is what's available in municipal capital, what's available casino funds,
Now, is that subtract, that's what's not allocated?
what's unallocated.
Okay,
And then what's potentially available in the general fund.
okay. But the general fund is going to have an increase within the next couple of weeks. If we keep our fingers crossed,
Right.
because
Is that-
Longplex is,
The closing?
Yeah, the closing is tomorrow.
The closing's
okay, so
tomorrow.
that's 938,000, but you have to pull 25%
25%
from
goes
there.
to infrastructure.
So that comes out to, I did it somewhere.
Right, but you can't add it just to the general fund, the unassigned general fund. It's not that simple. I wish it was.
But it's going to be
But
there.
it will go into the general fund. But at the end of the year, we reallocate all of the carry forwards, the restricted accounts, so that money moves a little bit. So you can't just go A plus B equals C.
Where does it go?
Like, I don't understand why that doesn't go right into the general fund,
It goes into the general fund.
right? And then you
But
take
then
out for
there's-
capital.
There's certain calculations that are done to cover all of our prepaid items. Like, I have to take that cash in the general fund, big pool, and allocate it between things that are prepaid, things that are committed, paving, if we have any paving money. So it gets reallocated. It doesn't just go to unassigned.
All right, my next question is that 129 in the general fund,
That is,
is that counting the 250 we took out to balance the budget? We took money out of the general fund to balance the budget last year.
so if you look at this representation here.
So explain it.
So at the end of fiscal 20,
I know I'm being an
I'm
ass.
having trouble with my voice, so.
Do you want me to run it through for you? Because it's
No.
pretty straightforward.
The 6.129
Yes.
is where I projected with the auditors, where we're gonna land with unassigned general fund. Below that is the charter 3%. Below that is what you folks used for the balance the budget for
Right.
the year we're in. I don't expect that we're gonna use all that $1.7
Right,
million.
that was my question.
Especially since we're having the closing tomorrow. So that's
Right.
really gonna be a boost to.
Yes.
But I do expect with the winter storms and those overages, that we may not have a lot of money left at the end of fiscal '26.
In the budget.
In the budget. So I don't expect you're going to use 1.7 million, but we may be using some. So this just gives you an idea of what would be available if we were to use it all,
That's what I'm saying, the 2.5.
the 2.5.
All right.
Okay.
That's what will be remaining, correct?
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's-
that's taking the 3% out too.
Yeah. The 3% is just a benchmark threshold.
The 2.5 is what we could use to balance a budget
to
if we
do-
wanted to.
Right. But like I said, I don't think I tried to do a projection today. I don't think we're going to use that 1.7 million, but I do think we're going to use something.
And that represents about 4%, that 2.5.
Well, 3% is
Right.
1.8, so another percent would be another
Yeah.
600,000. So,
Yeah,
yeah, a
okay.
little more, but yeah.
My
It's like
other-
4.25.
Yeah, so if we, and I ask that because I know we would love to get to a higher percentage.
Yes.
So that's 4%. If we kept it there, not saying we would, that would give us 7%. Yeah.
I mean, it's grown significantly over the years, the
really has.
unassigned. We used to be working with less than, I mean, it was
Just barely one.
barely
just
making
barely
it.
3%.
So,
The municipal capital, is that taking the DPW's truck out of there?
Yes.
Okay. So that is really what's,
That's what we have today that we could allocate.
yes, okay. All right.
So I'm just going to float this out there, knowing that we have 1.34 in Fund 650. This would require a resolution, but it would be significantly helpful to the FY27 budget if we use 750,000 of that to cover the principal payments, not the interest, but just the principal payments on that final bond payment.
Yes. That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, isn't that what you would?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, yes.
And that's how I got to the 5.63. I just assumed.
And that's how we
what it
got
would
to
be.
the 5.63 without discussing that.
I was out of the room. Which one are we talking about, the final bond?
THS and Ranger Refinance, the final payment in principal is $750,000. We have 1.34 in Fund 650. It would require a vote at not our next meeting, but the following, for the resolution.
For the capital gaming
For the capital gaming fund, if we were to pull it. Well, I would argue that
Well, it is capital.
it
was a capital project,
was a capital project. We're just,
but I would defer to the treasurer on that. What do you think?
it's a fine line.
Or
But
what we
we'll-
could
we'll-
do,
You know, we used,
yeah, principal and not interest. Only the principal, not the interest payments.
Matters, but it's still a capital expense, but the ordinance says capital. Capital, casino revenue has to be used for capital. And again, this is a fine line, because I agree, you built a school, whatever you built with it, and so now you're paying off a note.
is that exactly what the ordinance says? capital
No.
I think it
projects?
please, yes, capital projects.
Capital expenditures, because we used that in the past, in a prior budget
yeah,
year.
we have.
To pay off time
A
payments
fire
on
truck,
a
I
fire
believe,
truck.
but,
Yeah,
We paid off the leases for the fire truck
Right.
and the streetlights.
well, I thought we used APRA fund for that, remember Chris took APRA fund, and we backfilled it later. I think we used APRA funds for that.
well, could we just, would it
Let me
be,
look at the ordinance.
would it be easier if we took it out of the general fund?
Well, then you can't put the casino money into the general fund.
Well, wait a minute.
No, wait a minute.
We transferred gaming into paving, which goes into the general fund, but it's restricted.
Right,
But,
Say that again?
so it's a mechanism that we use. We transfer gaming capital to cover the
she's
200,000.
talking as an accountant.
That-
For paving.
Wasn't that the money we specified would go to paving?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
so
saying
that
you
was-
can't do it, can't commingle.
Right, but that was separate, that was part of the ordinance that we specified.
Yeah, it was part of the ordinance,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
This
So
is-
what's the difference between that and saying you're gonna bring in another
Well, because the ordinance
750?
specifically allowed for that transfer.
Right.
Right, well, you'd have to do a.
Well, he's asking whether I have to amend it, yes, that's
Yeah.
the question
Well,
we're looking at now.
Yes, we'd have to amend the ordinance, but we could do it.
Of course, but I'm
Yes.
saying maybe you might not have to amend it if it's a capital, if you consider this payment a capital expense, and maybe it won't need to be amended.
Well,
That's what I-
building
that's
a
what I'm asking.
school to me
In other
is-
words, or you could just add a line into the ordinance that it could be used for bonded debt. Capital, casino revenue could be used for bonded debt,
We
Well,
probably,
I would say instead of bonded debt, you would
or
you
capital bonded debt?
any prior capital expenditures that have not been paid in full.
What's the, ordinance number, do you know?
2 something, hold on, I'm just gonna.
Yes, John, you could do it John's way.
Is it under finance?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the loose word of any bonded debt is loose sales.
I think it's like
Well, any
107.
bonded debt.
108, somewhere in
Oh,
there.
if we make
can't
bonded
find-
debt. for the
107.
future.
107? Hold on.
Yeah. Oh. We'll just have to change the ordinance, that's all it is.
But that requires advertisement, which is not on the agenda for Monday, so we'd have
Can you
to,
make it a resolution as part of the budget ordinance?
No.
oh yeah, we could, potentially. I don't know if we could use a resolution on the budget
Because
ordinance.
budget order only needs one passage, and that's, we don't want to start doing that. That's a bad practice to get it, just changing ordinance through the
So if we
budget.
change the ordinance, Joan, how many weeks? 21?
21 days, which makes it 4 weeks.
It's 2-7.
But we could do it because this isn't gonna come up
Yeah, I
until,
know, I just
So
can't.
casino gaming revenue can only be allocated and expended after the fiscal year in which the town receives the revenue unless the town council by the vote of a supermajority of the town, blah, blah, blah. That's it, within. The town treasurer.
I don't remember it.
The provisions of this article.
Wouldn't you count that as a capital expense?
I mean, I would
That's
argue
a
it's,
capital expense,
it was a capital expense.
yes. It would be like if we decided to build a new school and take it out of casino. That's a capital expense, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. If you determine
Right,
that this body
yeah.
can determine that, then
It is a capital expense.
commercial break.
Brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, so, at no time shall the town council have the authority to transfer any of such funds to the unassigned general fund account or to cover operational expenses for either the municipal government or the school department.
Well, this isn't an operational expense.
Well, it is interest
No, it is.
payments, it's bond payments.
Interest payments.
No, hold on,
Interest.
hold on. Because we had this discussion, because when we wrote this ordinance, I don't know if you were here, John, but there was a very big concern about using these for operating expenses, right?
I was present for this.
Yeah,
And so, I don't think it was ever intended, and again, you can change it, it can be changed, I'm not saying it can't be changed, it's a policy decision. I don't think it was ever intended to fund bond, because we would have said that.
We paid off the leases with
Right, we
that.
paid off the leases, but I think
With gaming.
yes, but I think we first paid it off the opera, then
No.
we
No.
backfunded. Right. So, I mean, again, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I mean, if we've done it in the past, and we think this ordinance covers it,
I think it's a capital expense. I don't know why you would determine it wasn't. If you don't pay interest, it is a capital expense.
it's a expense that you cover and from your general revenues every year. And that really is technically operational.
So were time payments.
I know, I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not saying you can't do it, I'm just telling you that if you look at it objectively, before we had this issue, you would say that payments of bond debt and interest is something that you book every year, and it is an operational expense of the town. That's what it is.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
But
Counselor DiVerners, or Counselor Burke.
nothing prohibits us.
from doing it.
No, well, changing it. I'm concerned about constantly changing that ordinance. But if we felt we could get away with using 750 of the 2.5,
That's what I was saying before. Like, could we take it out of the general fund? The 750 out of the
You
general
could.
fund?
Well,
but
you
that
would,
reduces what we have available to offset taxes.
Well, that's all.
No, this is
offsetting taxes,
talking
though.
about the revenue side.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Right,
you're
so
right.
you
So it's
just-
offsetting
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
taxes.
you're, right, exactly.
So we can do that without, so we can just say, pay Ranger School.
Well, we would be paying Rangers the bond anyway.
No,
You
but
just-
pay it out of the general fund reserve.
Right, so I know that you were trying to reduce the percentage of the budget, right?
But that would do it.
No, it wouldn't, because it still stays as an expense. You would just boost
Revenue.
the revenue. So your levy percentage would still be the same.
Oh.
But if someone said to you, how much did your budget go up this year? It's a big number,
Yeah.
more than usual.
I think we should take it out of casino. I think we should rewrite an ordinance, I guess, but I
At
don't,
the risk of going off agenda, I think it should be up for consideration to re-advertise the ordinance for some changes at a future council meeting.
Yeah, but when do we have to get the final budget in? Oh, no, we can change it, right, Joan?
It's not. I mean, I think under general accounting principles, and again, I'm not saying that we're tied to any of that, but under general accounting principles,
Yeah,
bonded
it's a
debt,
fine line.
it's an operational expense, because that's,
I mean, but Joan, if we change the ordinance, after the public hearing, we can change the budget. So
yeah,
the public,
after the public hearing.
so when is the public hearing?
You have to set the date for the public hearing.
Okay, when do we have to put the final budget?
By the end of June.
By June 30th.
Okay, so we would have time to put the ordinance, change the ordinance, right, advertise the ordinance, and make that decision before we have to give the final budget. So it's really not too late.
If you're changing the ordinance, to make it's still not capital, though, right?
No,
Well,
no, what
you're
we're
gonna
gonna do.
call it, right, we're gonna call it bonded, you're gonna change the ordinance to allow to pay bonded debt.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So does that make sense to everybody? Because the real
It's legal because
budget,
you make it legal.
gonna say, we just passed an ordinance, or potentially.
what?
That's what huge savings.
He just said, as long as it's legal, I said, it's legal because you passed an ordinance to make it legal.
Yes, yes. But we can't, if that's the mechanism, that's what we should do, because that's gonna decrease our budget by quite a bit.
What did we just say can be used for bonded debt? Any bonded debt?
Okay,
What's
it's
the,
not on for a vote or anything tonight, so this is general discussion. We may just have to keep the
Part of the budget, yeah.
the
what's,
513 item.
what's the drop
Yeah, but
dead?
can't we just make a vote right now to write the ordinance?
We can't because it's not on the
Not on
agenda.
the
not
agenda,
on
but
the
I got
agenda.
I'll write the agenda, but you don't have to take
Yeah.
a vote to
But
tell me to write an
what's
agenda.
the drop dead date for the budget?
June.
Passage,
Passage.
June
June
30th.
30th.
June
So
30th.
we have plenty of
So-
time.
You can have a special meeting, you can have a special meeting to pass an ordinance.
Because
Yeah.
3 weeks
That's
would
what-
take
What
us,
is that gonna change in percentage-wise?
Well, it's gonna decrease it
What's
to,
it gonna drop to, like?
well,
you
John's
know?
already taken it out, so.
It's at, the
I just,
five- the five-
again, assuming you were to pull
So
that
it's still
out.
at 5-something, I mean, we still gotta
Yes.
get,
Is that taking anything else
we
out?
still gotta,
Is
we
that
still got work to
taking
do.
anything else out?
This was just the general consensus of all the alterations that we talked about, but didn't actually vote on at the last meeting.
Can we get a copy of
The sum total of all
Minus
of
the
them,
750?
Well, I wrote
including the
down-
750.
Well,
I'm just keeping a running total here, that's all.
yeah, well, we need to talk about that to see if everyone agrees on that also.
Well, we're gonna take the final votes.
Right, but our 5% doesn't mean the town's budget is gonna be 5% because you gotta add the school in.
Yeah, this is just the municipal
This is
side.
just the municipal side.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, we're still at 5-something, we still got some work.
That's
to do.
just the municipal side.
That's just the municipal side.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to say.
Yes. All right.
We're gonna add schools to that.
Yeah, but it brings the 5% down. Am I right, everybody? Because the school, it does. Yes, it brings it down. Just because we're asking for 5% doesn't mean the budget's going up 5%.
If we asked for 5% and the schools asked for 0, net, it's like a 2% increase.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not an accountant.
So your
though.
2%, your 5% equals the 2% on the rate.
Roughly, just,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, yes, we do have some work to do, but it's better.
Okay, so that covers the debt service. 980, municipal capital restricted, we get capital reserve restricted. We get a 0 line item in there, and that's because that number will be adjusted once you go through what is required to populate. Madam Treasurer?
If you're looking at the capital reserve restricted line,
Yes.
so that number that's there is because there's an actual historical number. So if we're gonna use this document, you have to put in that's what
Okay.
happened last year.
Got it. All right, so there's nothing much to do there.
No,
Okay. That was 1. Now we're gonna go down a couple more pages. I'm just on the spreadsheet. 1030, Board of Canvassers.
Level funding.
Level funded.
Level funded.
1040, town hall operating
I thought
expenses.
you wanted to add something.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
To Board of Canvassers?
Go ahead.
No, I'm marking them all green as we've hit them, that's all.
For the town council, we had a discussion at the last meeting regarding audio, video, to separate that out from council contingency. And we estimate around 10,000.
I thought we were putting it in the clerk's.
I would highly recommend you leave it in town council,
Okay.
because it's the same thought process as advertising.
So it's 10,000.
Yeah, so we need a new line item.
Okay.
So the 200 would become 180, and then we'd have a new 10,000. Well, right now, as it is on paper.
On paper,
Yeah.
yes.
On paper, 200 would become 190, right? 190.
190.
Yes.
I was wondering what that math was
We're
like.
getting tired.
Yeah. All right, so town hall operating expenses, this number looks like it is relatively flat minus building maintenance of $5,000, Mr. Administrator.
Well, given that town hall is going to be relatively brand new, I would have no objection to level funding that line item.
All right.
So that's what we're doing.
0. Oh, we have
I'm going to
budget.
try to keep up.
No, I'm just tracking, and we'll make a series of votes at the next meeting. Unless we want to whack them down tonight, we could do that too. Yeah, level funded.
Level fund.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tax assessor's not present is,
I spoke with the tax assessor. I mean, I support
his budget only went up by 10 grand,
yes, sir.
which it looks like predominantly was the salaries for the staff allocation. Reval, we always leave that at what it is. Madam Treasurer, your budget. Any questions for the treasurer on her budget?
I'm glad you gave yourself a raise because
Okay, me too.
you don't, no, historically, you don't give yourself a raise, even if we ask you to. So I'm glad you did that. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I do have one question. 6980 computerized payroll. I'm assuming that's payroll for the entire town, runs through your department. Is there any appetite potentially to go out to bid on that this year?
A scary one. We have multiple visitors in our office trying to take away our payroll processing, ADP, Paycor.
Yep.
And then there was another one. And every time I've spoken to the salespeople, they can promise me the world. But when I actually get to brass tacks and explain to them our 4 unions, we have IOD, we have election workers, we have about 60 payroll codes. And our payroll runs pretty well. My staff member was originally from Paychex
Yeah.
for 10, 12, I don't even know how many years. And then because we always have a rep at the company, so she was my rep years ago. And then when the position opened, she applied and got the job. So I rely on her immensely to, all of the changes that come down, to have a great understanding of how it works in the background. So I've always been a little reluctant to give it up, because every time I've talked to somebody and told them we have all of these idiosyncrasies, we don't always hear from them again.
28,000 is not a large number anyways.
I'm
just looking to pick up nickels wherever possible.
Well, I'll tell you where we picked up nickels. So they were charging us around $4,500 to do the Affordable Care Act reporting. I took that on myself. I
Okay.
actually do it myself, using a third party that we found to be a lot less expensive, which then I actually moved the 1099s over there and do them myself. So our office produces all of that stuff ourselves, and we cut the cost less than half. The thing that I'm a little bit concerned about this coming into next year is the state of Rhode Island changed the law on 1099s. And so it was always 600 was the cutoff. If you paid an independent contractor more than $600, you have to issue a 1099. And the IRS raised that threshold to $2,000. So I was like, yay, because it reduces the number we have to issue. State of Rhode Island lowered the threshold to $100. $100. They lowered it in October, and we didn't find out until February. So I can tell you that I didn't comply. And so I've gone back and forth with a few people in other municipalities and trying to figure out how do we effectively create a file that'll satisfy both. And it looks like we're just going to have to do both for everything over 100 now. Because I can't break it out. I can't send.
Can't we argue that the Fed preempts the state?
So I have to send the 1099s to the state. And they want them in a different format than we've been doing all along. So I've got my work cut out for me because we do it ourselves. Because I refuse to pay the payroll company to do it.
That raise is well-deserved.
So, I don't know what to tell, we got our work cut out for us this year. For the end of the fiscal year, the end of the calendar year,
Okay.
excuse me.
Any other questions on the treasurer's budget? All right, how about tax sale? Keep it at $2,000?
That's kind of just a benchmark when we have to have a tax sale. We have a line item to pay our expenses from. Sometimes they get reimbursed, sometimes not.
Okay.
It all depends on how that plays out.
Let's talk about insurance, $21.90.
Okay. So, let me grab some.
Yeah, I'd like to look at the HSA piece, the employer share. Obviously, it's contractual, right? But it was my understanding we're basically just front-loading the money, and then we get it reimbursed over the payroll periods. Is that correct?
So we front load all the HSAs and then collect over the year.
So 140 is really zero.
No, that's the employer side.
Okay.
The employee pays their side, and that gets accounted for in the prepaids. So we front load about $335,000, but I have to split between the piece that's the employer, the piece that's the employee.
Okay.
So I did an analysis on our current situation with the active employees for insurance and protracted out with the increases that they're projecting. And there's a few other things that go into that account, which would be, we reimburse for eyeglasses for contractually. We do pay some HSA fees. We do buy back insurance for those folks that don't participate. So all of those, in addition to the premium, are in that number.
We do a lot of buyback.
Not enough. About, I would say, between 90 and 100,000 is buybacks. But then somebody who's buying back, if their situation changes, they can, and we see that a lot with new hires, especially police and fire.
Yeah, I'm 25, I'm on mom and dad's insurance, I
Yep.
just turned 26, I needed my insurance now.
Exactly. And that's something that we can never, plan for. Any of the changes, single to family, somebody has a baby, somebody gets married. We don't know that. So we've always kind of budgeted for the maximum. This number is budgeting for what we have now with no changes, because based on what I came up with, I'm coming up with $2,350,000 for next year, status quo, with the increase. And honestly, that's always been an account where there's been a little bit of wiggle room, because we would budget it as if everybody was on the insurance and this is what it cost. and we were able to move some of that money around, especially with the retiree, which we'll go over next. There's gonna be no room in '27.
How much do we pay for HSA fees?
About $4,000 a year.
That's something we're gonna need to go out to bid for. HSAs. In the coming year. Not the insurance, the actual health savings accounts.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There's a couple.
No,
There's
there's
a-
a
yeah,
few, but I mean, the fact that we are cash rich year one, we should be at a zero bill from our HSA provider.
What do you mean?
So, for all you guys who don't know, the way HSA companies make money is they make some money, a little bit of money on the PEPM per employee per month. And then they make money because you make deposits into the account and they pay you effectively 0% interest. And they make the spread, right? Interest rates
Okay.
are around 5 and change. So, you know, the bank that holds the money, if the company's not a bank, right, they're getting a piece of that 5 and change spread. And if the company is a bank, then they're keeping the whole spread, right? From paying, you know, I'll use you, Counselor Comito. You know, Counselor Comito puts $1,000 in, he makes, you know, 0% interest on it.
We actually do make a little interest.
A little bit. It's usually nominal. But generally speaking, in the industry, like once you have an average balance of $3,000 or more per employee, it should be a $0 administration bill.
Well, the
So-
employee's allowed to invest that money in other accounts.
In theory, yes, but not in practice with the trust and our current
We have
provider.
included East Providence in the trust. I've seen the balances in some of the, particularly firefighters.
Yeah.
They invest that money into.
Which
into
it's,
do
from an employee standpoint, that's absolutely the right thing for them to be
Right.
doing because it's a health savings account, not a health spending account.
Right.
But
And they encourage it, I mean,
Yeah.
so.
But even still, if the average cash balance is typically north of 3,000 in the industry, it should be a $0 bill on the PEPM. So that would be something I think would be advantageous for us to go out to bid for.
I can't speak for everybody, but if, you know, the employees are using their card to cover their deductible. So, like, mine's gone in a couple of months. So but
Yeah.
I think the younger population,
We do have a
the
young
healthier
employee
population,
population.
assuming that,
Single employees.
right, would have the benefit of maybe not using it
Yeah.
as,
So bottom line is I think that that's an area where we could pick up a nickel. So, and as far as the card goes, the entire industry is on WEX. It's, you know, it's like, you know, do you hate your Uber driver or do you hate the Camry that you're in? Because they're all the Camrys are the same, you know? You can change the Uber driver, you know, you
Right.
drive in the same car. Anyway, that's me off my soapbox. Let's talk about the
Okay.
retirees.
So the retirees are, I did the same thing. Came up with 1,282,000 projecting. Again, that's premium. We also do some, we cover some Blue RX. It's part of the settlement that was done years ago, and we have Medicare buybacks, which is part of the settlement, so there's no getting around that. The thing about the retirees is, you know, we have for example, policeman retiring, he's gonna move to the retiree pool at the end of the year. But then we're not saving anything, because then we're backfilling the position,
Yeah.
so,
It's gonna be tight and we get to cross our fingers, is what you're
yeah.
saying. Okay. Dental is pretty straightforward, group life, straightforward.
So we got the premium bill for property tax, property insurance, and we've got a budget here of $350, but the premium's coming in at $362. Now, that line item usually covers the premium plus any deductibles that we may incur if there's accidents. So, you know, actual this year, we've had several accidents. So it was the premium plus about $12,000 in deductibles. So at 350, we're not even covering the premium.
You said it was 362 is what the premium is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Workers' comp.
Workers' comp came in at 97. So I think the premium's good at 100, but like Chief and I were talking about today, every year we have an audit. And, you know, we might get a rebate, we might have an additional charge. With the increase in salaries across the board, I think we're gonna see, we're not gonna get a rebate next year. Because we usually just roll that into the account.
Doesn't that work on an hourly rate as opposed to a pay raise? Like, isn't it the number of hours somebody works when they do the audit?
When they come in and do the audit, it's based on all the folks who are covered under the policy and the salary that they're paid. I mean, it could be, what
Yeah, and I
you're, what you're
also think-
thinking about is the audits that
On
the
the
fire
work-
department used to do?
No, on the workman's
No?
compensation, like, so, it has, like, so, if you're working up above your allotted hours, I think they take that into consideration on, you have to pay more in for the workman's comp, I think.
Well, we provide them with all the salary figures.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't give them hours. It's all
We
the
leave overtime off,
positions.
yes.
Of course. It's all the positions and,
When I get
salary.
audited, it's the same thing, when I get audited for my business, they want to know my work is salary, but then the number of hours he's working to make sure that he's covered with the insurance, and that sets the premium to go up or down.
Correct. They look for the average weekly wage over a period of time.
Yes,
And so that it does include, if someone has overtime, that includes your average weekly wage.
yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
What we're saying is that this number is also gonna be tight.
yeah, so they're all gonna be tight.
25 grand for the town audit. We're worried about that number. What would make you feel comfortable, Madam Treasurer?
You know, I looked at a couple of other RFPs and bid results in different communities, and they vary, like seriously vary, between 140 for the 3 years up to 250,000 for the 3 years. It's for 3 years, yeah. So, you know, Brendan and I were just talking about, we both felt like we could be seeing an increase. You know, I'm pretty sure our current auditors will bid. Last RFP, we only had one.
And it
bidder,
was them, right?
And it was them. And I think it's because there's other people who've bid, can't beat their price.
Let's
Probably.
actively encourage them to bid.
Probably will, they've been with us forever.
How long have they been in the ordinance? Because the ordinance in general doesn't allow it.
Well, we've had a turnover in management, so they've allowed it. And who we have now has only been 2 years. It's 3. We usually go 3. What?
Thanks. That's it. Let's revisit the legal line item budget again.
I think there was a statute that, when I was in the legislature, because I was concerned that these towns were not changing orders quick enough, so I think that's why you have the 3 years now, yeah. It was one of
I
We've
think we
always
gotta go
done
out to
3
bid on
years.
the legal services.
was that good?
We've had that
Funded mandates.
since I've been here.
No, we had
Which one did, we talking?
Baxter Dancero. We had Baxter Dancero when I was first here.
All right. But that
For
was
years.
before me. And Sahadi's been, it's Sahadi,
Yes,
right?
yes, but we're on our
Different-
3rd manager.
Yes, okay, yes,
And you get
The
same
same
company, but whole different staff.
yeah.
They acquire, firms get acquired all the time.
And they know, too.
Yeah.
Pension plan dollars.
So the pension plan dollars are calculated based on the salaries and the rates that MERS, gives us for next year, which they've already given us. The $735 for the police pension is the ARC from the last valuation. So, that's a council decision.
Where are we sitting funded status on that today?
82.
82%?
It's good. It's not perfect, but
Increased a little bit because of the staff. Fully staffed, right? So we gotta pay more. I mean,
Fully staffed, and the
Right,
rate,
fully staffed.
fire
that-
rate
that's
is
almost 100,000.
22 and a half. It went up a little.
I'd want to take a look at that ARC valuation.
it's good, but I mean, it's not perfect.
Do you have
It's
it?
much better than
I don't.
You should, but
I don't think John's.
I mean, I could probably dig it out of my inbox.
I'll find it.
All right. That's a number that I want to look at. The police pension annual required contribution.
I mean, it took many years to get in that position, right? So, I mean, I would be careful.
Well, so just for the council's edification, we basically are at the, coming on the tail end of the greatest bull run in the history of the stock market in a time period where we were severely underfunded, so we were like 90% equity allocation. Thankfully, the managers have listened, and we've started to pare some of that equity exposure back, and they're buying individual bonds at actually pretty good interest rates that aren't callable. So we've got some decent downside protection in there. And luckily, we didn't do what the state of Rhode Island did and go do a bunch of PE or private credit funds, which are now gated, and, that $14 billion pension is probably $11 billion right now.
But that's the best.
Madam Treasurer,
We've
quick
been
question.
exceptionally lucky there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, if you're good, so, without getting too deep into contractual stuff, I'm looking at the municipal steelworkers MERS. And there was a new contract, and there was a change of unions, and then there was a 70% jump.
Okay. Yes. I noticed that too, probably about 2 months ago. And I was like, why is the approved budget for '26 out of whack for 1532 MERS and 1538 MERS? Like, I couldn't understand it. So I went back to the original documents that we were using when the budget was developed. I have that docket, that spreadsheet, and then the docket, and they were flipped. I can't tell you how that happened.
So that number's correct.
So when you
So
look at
no,
ASME
so that
MERS,
93
right here.
should be
That should have been the steel workers.
1532, and that 62 should be 1538.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. 'cause
So
I was-
if you
I was-
look,
And
I-
actually, that goes back for 24, 25, and as well.
well, not necessarily, don't forget, 1532 is all the municipal department heads, so you had significant department heads, now we're fully staffed, raises. 1532 is the steel workers, but it was really the department heads that kind of, and the rate went up as well.
Well, because, all right, my follow-up question to that was gonna be, what was the savings in the health insurance? Because I know that was a big contractual issue. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have a 10% savings here and then a 70% increase there.
I don't have that number for you.
That's right.
The savings.
Wouldn't appear that way.
No, the savings there were savings, and I think the savings came in knowing the benefits that they were getting, where I guess I understood that they were not forthcoming with the benefits
Yes,
previously.
that's exactly what it was.
I wasn't privy to all of those conversations.
I didn't want to get into too much, but I
no,
just knew that there was a
but-
push for a savings here, and I just wanted to make sure that saving wasn't significantly offset.
One of the savings with the previous Teamsters was we paid the same rate for every employee, regardless of single or family.
Which was
With the
ridiculous.
health insurance, the way it is, we pay a lower rate if the person's single and pay the family rate for family. So there was a little more,
That was the biggest thing, really.
that was the biggest driver.
Yeah. No, I knew that.
Because
Just
when
wanted
you
to
look
make
at the
sure it was-
premium and you look at the 50% of the deductible, they're starting to equal out, like with the school department, with the premium-only plan. It's, with the increases, it's starting to, the difference in savings is closing the gap.
So to clarify, account number 5264 should relate to 1538?
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to fix that. I was reluctant to fix, because I post what is in the docket
Right.
and what is voted, and that's what goes into the general ledger. But when then I discovered it, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to flip those and then explain it. And I was going to do it, but
And now it's
Right,
explained.
So
now it's
that's,
explained.
so then 1532 is account number 5266.
I'm just going to flip the dollars.
The dollars.
I'm just going
Oh,
to,
flip
I'm
the
just going to
dollars.
flip the
Okay.
dollars
Okay.
and leave the account numbers, because that's all mapped in payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, social security calculated number,
That's a calculated number.
unemployment, looks like we didn't spend anything in 24, 25, so we should hope for the same in 26, 27.
We don't typically lay people off.
Underfunded liability, sick and vacation, looks like we're level funded there again. What is, do you, yes, Counselor Comito?
So, don't we have a new contractual, a new buyback? Is that for, with the fire department?
They budgeted that in their budget.
Okay,
It's a line item.
so it's safe.
I was looking at it. I was gonna do it before I left and I forgot.
What normally
Trying to drain the pool.
is when they get a notice of retirement from an employee, they'll work with them about any accrued vacation time to see if they want to utilize the vacation time and then set their retirement date around that instead of getting the payout. So,
Wondering about, with the new contract, it's on a yearly basis, they can buy back their vacation time, correct?
correct, correct. And that's put
But that's in their budget.
That is in a line item in their budget.
35.4, a new line item.
What's our balance on OPEB?
It is,
Right, back to this 100,000, do we need, if that's over in their budget now, do we need all this over here, the 100,000?
this is still the police.
So the buyout is on a yearly basis. This would normally recover, and the treasurer can correct me.
No, you're right. It's for
This would for a
retirements.
retirement.
Retirement, okay, that could be a large number.
I know it's not large, it's like a couple 100,000, right?
OPEB?
Yeah.
It comes every month on your cover sheet what the balance in OPEB is. It's like $1 million and, I'm looking for it right now.
Of March, the OPEB trust account was 1561818.
It used to be zero.
Yes.
So-
1.5 mil right now.
I float that out there, not that I want to, but that's an area where we could trim in the contribution. I mean, our actual liability is like 27 million, like.
Yeah.
So if we're desperate, that's somewhere we
I
can
think
go
we
find
have
money.
in the past, we've discussed doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we've never done it before, and I don't have a lot of background, I understand that some communities, and I think the school may have done it as well, use their OPEB trust to fund some retiree benefits in the current year.
That's what it's intended for.
Right, but we've never done that.
Yeah,
because
we find-
We've
we-
been trying to
We've been
build
trying
the
to accrue
balance.
dollars, so, but
Right.
unfortunately, every single year, the actuarial,
Right, but
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
no,
And
never had a-
we're funding it out of operations today, in
Right.
this budget.
we're on a pay-go basis.
Yeah.
But there are communities who have withdrawn from their trust to pay the retiree health benefits.
And that basically concludes everything we've got. Except for revenues, now we gotta do revenues.
Now, are we gonna discuss we're gonna discuss further lines and further cuts potentially, or is that for now?
This was just a review. It's on our agenda for Monday, and then we have 513 set aside as well.
All right, because there's a couple things I would ask the council to consider, so.
Yeah.
What's that?
Something we didn't discuss last time.
No, so yeah, part of it, yes, part of it, no.
Monday's agenda big.
No, which is why we put it on for
That's why you
Monday.
put it
Are you planning on also having a meeting on the 13th?
We have it tentatively scheduled, and I think we should probably keep it anyways, and here's my logic behind that, is if the objective is to advertise for the ordinance, we can do it in 5 minutes, and then skedaddle, and at least that way we're not waiting 2 more weeks. We gain a week on the advertisement if we were gonna alter the ordinance for the casino gaming. Because it's too late to get it on.
It's too
Now.
late to get it on the 11th.
On the
so we're
11th, so-
saying keep that meeting, and if Mike can have the ordinance available, we'll do it.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
exactly, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
What
then
time is
you want a meeting on the 13th,
What time?
at what time?
And if we can get through the budget swiftly, then we're there for literally 5 minutes.
Gonna need a little bit.
7 o'clock or 6?
What's the date you have to pass the ordinance?
13th.
The 13th?
The 13th, we have to schedule.
Yeah.
So you need to adopt a preliminary unified budget ordinance, which means he has work to do in order to meet that requirement for that date. So you have to,
Monday would be a good date to finish it up.
That never happens because it's always.
You won't have time to write it.
How about May 12th? A whole day to do it, right? Yeah.
Well, usually, as we've done, this is the first time I have it with Pat, but it's usually with treasurer, myself, the clerk, and,
the assessor.
it's, I think he says, I heard it, I just ignored it.
All right, so let's
It's his
do,
favorite too.
let's look at the revenues. Because that's the next item.
I just sent you the valuation.
Thank you.
The Monday, well, if we
Well,
stay
I-
late
sorry.
and get it done on Monday,
We need I need just the dollar amounts for the line, the totals.
yeah.
Right.
So we would have those. How deep, and you guys figure out the rate, that's your magic, I just plug it in. I don't know how to do that.
Does that have to be by May
Yeah,
13th?
it's gonna be computer ordinance.
Oh, it's like I said before, it can be changed too,
After the hearing, yeah.
after the hearing, so it's not like,
Correct.
because we have changed it
Yes, we've changed it at the hearing.
at the hearing, yeah.
All right, 4B, we got some revenue items here.
Stamp tax.
I see that one bumped up, which is helpful. Looks like we're keeping a lot of stuff level funded from a revenue perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any huge increases in anything. Rescue, I didn't finish my sentence. Except rescue revenue.
4631 building permits went down 25K.
We haven't made our goal for this year, so,
Playing it smart.
and I didn't know if there's gonna be a change in how they're doing the inspections.
It's going to be another discussion.
So that could reduce that, but it may not happen next year, I don't know.
I think if any recommendation about change, I don't think we should do in this fiscal anyway, because they get effective next fiscal.
So I have a nitpicky one. 4994. Pay-as-you-throw transfer. And I understand we've traditionally pulled some money out of the pay-as-you-throw transfer into the general fund and used it as revenue, basically to offset.
when we started having to truck the trash to Johnston. So this is the third year,
So my,
which you also have all the pays, you throw data in those 3 pages you got at the beginning.
yes. Which this is helpful, thank you. So we pay what? I think it's, we kind of coalesced around 50,000 for the testing at the landfill. Do we still owe dollars on the landfill closure?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
We paid the last payment this year.
So 24, 25, really what we're looking at is, no, it's 485.
You are using some funds to pay some consulting and legal fees for conversations around the landfill and solar or something, in addition to the testing.
It's like come out of there. I don't remember agreeing to come out of here.
No, it's coming out of the landfill closure count.
Yeah, I don't remember what the conversation was in that. It was executive, so we can't talk about it, but. Well, but I just don't remember if it was litigation or if we specifically talked about.
I think you hired a consultant, we hired a consultant
Yeah.
to negotiate the contract for the solar.
That part, yes, gotcha. I thought it was related.
His
Oh.
salary came out of
Yeah.
litigation. The special counsel came out of special.
Yeah.
So anyways, the point that I would like to make here, is that, you know, today we're charging $10 for a roll of small bags, $10 for a roll of large bags. We have significant budget increases here. I just backing out, assuming we're going to address the bond out of the revenue side. You know, we went from a 9.58% increase to an 8.38% increase, just with some of the items that we've talked about here so far on the municipal side. And I think that we should start looking at what we're actually charging for the bags as a means to start offsetting some of that trash contract. Because that's what the original pay-as-you-throw ordinance said, is that it's to go for anything related to the landfill for monitoring and then to offset the cost of the actual trash program.
Yeah.
So it looks like we've historically received net about, you know, just under 500,000. And if we were to look at increasing the bags, we can model it out, but I think if we doubled up the large bag costs and at least a 50% increase on the small bag cost.
What was the small bag cost?
They're 10 and 10.
And 10 and 10.
They're both 10.
They're both, it's 10 and 10. Yeah. You get 10
10
small
bags.
bags versus 5 large bags. So the point being is that we pay for the cost of the bags ourselves. So the cost of the bags isn't going to change. We would essentially increase the per unit revenue to the town by that full increase amount. I just don't know what the actual number of units we're shipping every single year is.
I don't know that.
Used to know that.
We have the cost, so we could probably break it down by the invoices, but we're front-running the cost because we have to stock the bags before we
Right.
receive the revenue for them. So that's something I think that we as a council should look at. I don't know how we would do it, or if it's just an arbitrary thing from the administration side. I think we should vote on it by resolution personally.
Do we have a contract to purchase the bags
We do.
from a vendor? For how long?
In perpetuity. There
No,
are,
we just
There-
did that contract.
yeah, they're our sole source vendor for that.
Just because there's so many complaints about the quality of the bags. If, you know, if they tear, and if we're gonna now ask people to pay more for them, that's not gonna go over really well. I remember that we did that contract because there was nobody else in town anywhere, who made those bags, that color.
Is it the color?
I don't know what it was, but it was, we had one option, as we were told.
Fall River.
Pre-closure.
Right. No, but we had to renew that contract.
Right.
No, contract is still correct. That is still
Oh,
the same,
all right.
contract. Pay-as-you-throw contract.
It's the
It's still
same.
the same. But, Counselor, I hear you, because, my office receives the same complaints, and if we're going to revisit this, I believe that it's not in the ordinance where the money goes, and when it comes to how much you want to charge, that's a policy decision that you have to
Right.
make. But if we're going to make, if the council sees fit to make that policy decision, then it'd be a conversation with the bag company as well.
And I think you get calls, but I think the DPW gets calls also.
They absolutely do.
Anyway, my point being is this, you can see from the historical numbers, it's just around 500,000. Depending on the volumes, if that adds another $350,000, $400,000 to the revenue side, that goes to offset the cost of the trash contract. It at least makes the, budget increase number, it lowers the net budget increase to the taxpayers.
I'd be concerned that people would change their habits and not buy the bags or only buy the cheaper bags.
What are they gonna do with the,
No, I just mean like maybe
buy smaller instead of?
they'd buy the smaller bags because it's a smaller increase
Most
or
people buy
be
the
better
large
at their
one.
trash. I'm just throwing that out there to
Yeah.
count on a number that we don't know how it's gonna play out.
Most of the people that buy the large ones, don't they use like,
I have no idea.
oh, what my neighbors do is they use like very cheap bags and then they
Yeah.
put like
Oh,
3
yeah.
bags in there.
3.5 is about the average
Yeah.
number. That goes into one of those, I know
Yeah.
from my personal household.
Yeah, you can do that. I do that at Christmas time.
Well, you don't have to put a bag out at Christmas.
Oh, after.
I know.
Counselor Camino.
I mean, I get where we're going with the bags and the increase and all that stuff, but again, we're gonna be the last community around, and we're gonna lose our opportunities if we don't get serious about the trash and have serious discussions, whether we're gonna do a bin or bags or whatever. I think it needs to be on a future agenda here, so we can figure this out, and where we're gonna be a year from now. So, it's,
For this year,
I know, but this is what we've been doing lately, right? It's this year, we can't do it this year. Before I got on the council, I'd always hear, it's not this year, it's next year, it's not this year, it's next year, right? And we end up getting further and further and further and further out, and then we all sit here and say, we keep kicking the can. So,
No pun intended.
right, so there's several things that we just keep saying we're gonna push out. We just gotta figure out what we're gonna do and have real discussions about the trash.
So,
And if, I'm sorry, sir.
Yes.
Just to answer Councilor Comito's concern, the council has already made that decision to me. So based on renewing the contract for the 1 year with MEGA, that's in effect. And part of that renewal was directing myself to work with the solicitor on an RFP. But I think, and I can just tell you what the plan is, so we can say it publicly. I want to get through the budget. And then over the summertime, we can work with an RFP. But also, that proposed RFP was also going to come back to you for public comment and input before it was issued. That was part of the discussion and the direction from the council when you made that decision.
Right, I mean, that's great.
so for the budget this year, we could do what John suggested.
I mean, if we're concerned about a shift from large to small bags, just unilaterally double the price. Well, not unilaterally, but like across the board, across the board increase, whatever the increase is, make it equal across both bag sizes.
I wouldn't go 20, 15 maybe.
I just wanted to touch back on that contract. That was a contract extension,
Yes.
and that contract did give the council the option to go to barrels at any time with the vote of the body, too.
The problem is the vendor will not go to barrels without a 5-year contract, which we cannot do.
Yeah, no, I knew that was
the
the
issue.
issue, but.
Which I get it. They don't want to like make the investment
I
in.
honestly don't remember it that way, Dave, but that's fine. We'll have to go back and
Well, I
look.
think it's because of the one-year extension. That now makes that null and void.
So the current contract with MEGA it was a 3-year contract with 2 1-year extensions. This would be year 4 or the first 1-year extension. You still have one more.
We extended them 1 year.
I think essentially extending it killed. They want to fight. They're damaged themselves.
But we couldn't do that,
Yeah.
because we need to go out for bid.
We do now.
We had to then.
They gave you an option to go out to bid, but what they wanted to do is void out the 3 years already and start a 5-year.
Right.
So given that that was part of their presentation, if the council voted to go automated, they wanted a 5-year commitment.
Which we can't do.
Was not a good idea, and we should go out to RFP with that. It wouldn't have just been 1 year for automated.
Yeah, so we couldn't do it either way.
But, John, I do agree with your proposal there. I
Yeah,
think we
we have
should
to.
increase something.
We have to do something with the revenue side. Again, and Madam Treasurer, I don't know if it's possible to get like, I guess we could look at FY 24, 25 as the most recent, if we could just get the invoices. Like a full year, what we spend for bags, number of bags we acquired, that kind of thing, so we can plug it into the model. Because I tried to use just the last bill and assume what we were spending. And to, effectively eliminate the trash contract, you're looking at small bags at 20, large bags at 33 a roll. That's based on that model, which I think that might
We
change.
can't do that. Okay.
So
Are we still gonna have the May 13th meeting?
that's on.
Okay.
May 13th.
May 13th, I'm missing a cemetery. That doesn't matter.
The cemetery is not going to be occupying the town hall, correct?
No, May 13th.
It's under town hall.
No, the cemetery usually does it here at the library, even when town.
Since we've all been relocated out of the town
Oh,
hall.
you're right.
Nobody's been meeting in the town hall.
Wonderful.
Keep in mind too, there's the meeting room.
But I'll bet you the I don't know where the cemetery has it now. I bet you it's.
All right, so you're suggesting we look at the 12th instead? All right, I can, listen, I could do the 12th. How does everybody else feel about the 12th?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Tuesday's better? Tuesday's better? Counselor Janix overseas.
May 12th.
Tuesday's better? Counselor Demers?
Yes,
Yeah, no, I know, yeah,
he doesn't care.
checked out. Counselor Paul? Counselor Perry? Yeah, we'll wait for Counselor Paul.
That would basically be for the resolution, the ordinance.
Yep,
Because, yeah.
okay. So we'll do the 12th instead of the 13th?
6 or 7.
May not. I didn't double check.
My preference, would not be 6.
Me either.
Yeah, I would prefer 7, just because my youngest 2 have dance class, and that means I have to pick the oldest one up. Yeah, so we're good at 7? 7, 7, 7? Okay. All right. And we'll put, on that 12th meeting, we'll put the ordinance advertisement? Okay.
So when I have revenue.
Okay. Any other, any other questions, revenue or otherwise budget related?
School department.
Nothing that we can really deal with now, but
If you say municipal,
I
then.
want Patrick's
Patrick,
and Michael's
Yeah.
attention. Is there anything we can do to push the hotel to be opened?
I don't know what the agreement was. When originally, wasn't part of those agreements. I don't know if the agreement had a,
You know
the
why
host
they
agreement.
closed it, right?
I thought they closed it because they weren't getting enough people.
Well,
COVID originally.
yeah, but
correct.
part of it is, you do their most business Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights. And they had to hire maids and whatever, and they couldn't get part-time or overtime.
Right, but it's,
So that's why they
yeah,
closed
I mean,
it.
it's different now, though.
Right, it is different, no,
And
no, that was.
honestly, that was one of the big selling points
Yeah.
that got it over the 50%.
Yes,
Also, one of the issues, again, from what I understand, excuse me, they were looking for a subcontractor essentially to come in and run the casino for them. And I know, excuse me, the hotel, exclusively the hotel, not the casino.
I mean, hey, we'll run the casino.
And then, that was the last conversations that we had with them.
I also think they converted a lot of the hotel rooms to offices.
Oh, that I'm not aware of.
I think they, I'm not sure what the number is, but I think they have done
Okay.
some of it. Yes, really. From what I'm told. I mean, we can confirm it. 4 or 5 into, yeah.
We still get, there were 100 rooms.
We gotta cut that budget line.
We'll have to check the permit process.
All right, well, with that, we will reconvene Monday. We have Tuesday squared away. At the very least, we'll be there to advertise the ordinance so we gain an extra week and not have to wait until the last meeting in June
yes,
to do anything, if we're gonna do anything with it. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
second.
Motion been made by Counselor Perry, seconded by Counselor DiMederos. All those in favor? We are now adjourned.